Tarot, astrology horoscope for the week of June the 15th through the 21st of 2020. If you have never watched the show before, make sure that you check out highvibe.tv. All the links are down below me right now. Of course, this is where we do awesome exclusive content, daily video content, weekly content. Man, we have so many other awesome practitioners on there. That is how you support this show for being free every week, and that you can share to your friends. And we bring you everything when it comes to the love world. And make sure that you check out my 2020 What's Next, all my major predictions that I made on April 24th. Of course, you can see all the predictions I made on the other video, it's called Destiny's Call under the paid video section. It's actually a survival guide of how to get through 2020. And it was all pretty accurate. It was, I would say, deadly accurate. This stuff already is crazy accurate. Make sure that you go purchase it now on the paid video section at highvibe.tv. What is going on, my Scorpio brother?
What up? What up? Hello, 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 hello. How's everyone doing out there? Tonight, lovely Monday evening here in Southern California. You know, the birds were out singing. We had a nice cool breeze here. It was very hot last week, so it was a nice little change. You know, maybe that's an upswing. Maybe we're going to change. We're going to bring in a new little season of love also. You know, sounds like a good time to me.
Hey, you know, it's always a good time, life, and no matter what's going on, no matter what craziness is going on in the world, you know, there's always some beautiful life that's always around us. You know, sometimes it's times like these where maybe you might want to watch It's a Wonderful Life, the movie.
Maybe.
Especially with the bank. Anyway, if you've never watched the show before, we are going to not only do... Oh, you know what? I don't know what happened to the High Vibe Red Cup. Well, if you've never watched the show before, we're going to do first a collective reading where I'm going to give you the astrology, and then, of course, go into doing a tarot reading. And, of course, we use lots of different decks. And then using, which has now been brought into me, social distance, of course, the High Vibe Red Cup, which not only... The secrets of the High Vibe Red Cup have so many different secrets. Gee, my Christmas. Everything from
all the secrets,
the astro dice that we use, to all 12 zodiac signs that are in here. See that? Look at that. You just never know which one I'm going to pick. Look at that. I see a Cancer in there. See, oh my gosh, you never know. So that's how this show rolls. Of course, when we reach 1,000 people, we do a reading that's called the 1,000 Collective, which means that when we have 1,000 people live, we actually have you focus on one person, and we do a reading for that and what that situation is. In 2,000, you get the
After Dark special.
The After Dark special reading. So it's a wild show. We have a great time. We love, we are in the chat. Sometimes we bring you up in the chat. Depends on what you have to say. And we are truthful and real here. We're not, you know, putting on some sort of show when we do this show. It literally is raw and it is real. I say we just go into this collective now because we got a lot to talk about. And I'm going to, remember, keep this much shorter when it comes to astrology because I do so much astrology and you all get deep astrology on YouTube. And of course, if you're on the app, you get my daily videos. This is the big week of not only a Mercury retrograde, so just prepare for that in Cancer, but it's a sun leaving Gemini and the moon that will form a solar eclipse on top of the North Node, which isn't in Gemini, but it'll be in Cancer. So that's like a little bit of a, wait, what? This is definitely a switching, and I have entitled this video, It Will Never Be the Same. Because this is now going to activate this nodal aspect extremely, which this next, 17 months is all about. Remember, the North Node came into Gemini, South Node came into Sag, this whole nodal axis on May the 5th. We're already 2 months in, so actually it's about 16 months. But it's sat here at the 29th degree. It has not moved, and it will not move till, I think, July 9th. So it's been keeping us at this very edgy spot of in-between worlds, and here becomes a solar eclipse on the North Node within 1 degree. This is almost a total solar eclipse. This is a big deal, folks. This one is a game changer happening on the solstice. Whether that's winter if you're down in Australia or summer if you are on the Northern Hemisphere, this is a big one. And this one is going to be switching the mental aspects to the emotional. And remember that for 18 months prior to May 5th of 2020, from November of 2018 all the way till May 5th was the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn. And we also have a butt ton of Capricorn going on. So you have to remember that this is going to be extreme, and this is going to bring up all the intense energies of where your emotions and repression of emotions and the blocking of emotions are going to be faced, and whether or not you're going to feel or get just stuck in the head, or are you going to block completely still? I think that a lot of people, especially going into 2020 and with all the blocks that have happened in your life and in the world itself, has been a point to where you have to realize, are you going to allow more blocks in your life? Either A, by staying in certain blocks that you're emotionally feeling too scared to deal with. We're just dealing with Mars as well, which is in Pisces, and it's been through Neptune. It's been squaring all this stuff that has been going on in Gemini, and Mars is getting ready to square the nodes. And remember, with Mercury retrograde now, it comes on Wednesday. You have to remember that this is going to be a lot of planets retrograde, especially with Venus retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Mercury retrograde. And of course, following that is coming up Neptune right after this solar eclipse. So it is a weird week with Neptune stopped all week in Pisces, and with Mars being here, this is where you get more trapped and staying in the same traps of your life, or you do the work and you let go, you release, and you go to the true feeling of your life. So this is going to be a game changer and a life changer, and it will never be the same, or it'll never be the same in a new way for you, because you're going to just stick with what you got because you're too afraid to make some changes. And that's some deep truth right there. You know, yeah, I know. It was, I forgot which night it was. I was working on the jet skis and like 4 a.m, and I'm all air gunning, and I hear him listening to playing Aladdin, and I was just like, Yep. What do you feel about this week with all the intense energies that we haven't even seen fully yet? Like, I think people are like not maybe comprehending that. One, I want to say this last weekend was an illusion. So the illusion of whatever you were in, of thinking the world is or your world is, like, illusion. And this real shit's about to hit. Do you feel like something's coming?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, shit's popping for sure. You know, there's definitely that immense like pressure, like have you described as, you know, it's kind of like closing in on us. So who's to see? But we're gonna all find out together what this crazy world has in store for us, and I'm excited and nervous all at the same time to see what's gonna come next. So.
Well, Cancer rules family, so I like how you see we're all going to see how it's going to come together. But I also feel like with all the separatism of Neptune and Pisces at this degree, especially, I've gone thorough into 1856 and Neptune, and I've also, I know this is a love show, but if we can use a way that I'm predicting that war is coming, just saying it, I'm not going to hold off on that one, and it's going to be touted more than you realize in the next week and a half that this also has to go into kind of the family wars in your own love life too, or just like, you know, if there's partners you're choosing or love situations you're in and it's just like a conflict of interest, and you know what, you don't need to go to war for it. You just gotta I'm not entering that war. I'm gonna go steer the other way. You know what I mean?
Something's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
I think these are definitely times we need to figure out what's actually worth it in our life and what we're actually going to be putting our energy towards. You know, we talked about it. I think that through this, there's been a realization of what's actually a necessity in your life and who's a necessity in your life. And I think that it's time that people actually kind of play those cards and move forward and see what's in store.
Somebody in the chat just said we're already in war. We're already in it. I would agree in one aspect is that a lot of it has been still unseen. And that's what's going to be kind of the touting is you didn't all know, but this was happening and this is going on. But the other part of it is that, no, we're not fully in it yet. When I'm talking about war, I'm talking about war. So not here to put any of that weird stuff. Saturday is opposed to my son today and tomorrow, and it's exact tonight. as I record this, that I can't be an astrologer and be a truth bringer if I'm gonna like lie to you that this was a massive lunar eclipse square Mars, that this Mars is in the middle of everything. It's about to semi-square Uranus. So when it comes to your love life this week with Mars semi-square Uranus, you think you're going in one direction and it goes totally another. And it's, if you're trying to hold on to a certain way that you want things to be, it's going to just flip. And this is definitely a Mars year. I know that it was very Saturnian, and we're going to see more of that, but we are also now entering into Mars, and Mars is great retrograde, including in Vedic astrology with the precession of the equinox. Mars is going to retrograde in Aries in both systems. And we are, and you know what the crazy part is by the end of this weekend, and when you come into Monday next week, when Neptune retrogrades, the only planets direct will be Mars and Uranus, and they'll be semi-squaring. I don't know how to like it's like, well, they will have finished the semi-square exact, but it's just like, that's it, just Mars and Uranus. And then Mars comes into its home sign, and it is while Saturn's coming back into its home sign, and all this extreme energy comes about. So you better make your love shit figured out this week. Like, I cannot put out, if you are a high viber, you know that I delivered and I went extra. I did 3 30-minute horoscopes for Monday morning. A tarot 30-minute horoscope. I did an intuitive like 33-minute one. Just, I didn't even know. I looked at the time and it was like, what? And then a 30-something minute horoscope for just today to prepare all the high vibers. And I'm here to prepare everybody on my YouTube. Hey, I'm not fucking around. I ain't bullshitting here. This is not just like when I said this stuff about the plague coming, nobody wanted to listen. Nobody did. And now when I sound off this alarm, nobody's going to want to hear it. I know nobody wants to hear it. But I'm just trying to prepare people. With this solar eclipse on Rahu, it is gnarly. Remember, the moon does not like to be on top of Rahu. Rahu moon is horrible. Put it that way. It decimates the feminine, motherly energy. The sun gets what it wants. And it's dragon energy. And this is fire. Like, even though it's going to happen in water, and it's emotional. And this is where you got to find your home. You got to find your tribe. You got to find the people in your life that are in the love state. So I'm putting out the warning, and I know it doesn't sound like love, to remind you to go into situations and not your subconscious illusions, and not get lost into the world either. South Node and Sag and your beliefs, and I got these big belief causes to go do. No, you don't. You got your own environment to fucking fix first, Gemini. Go fix your own stuff in your own individual life first right now, because you don't want to go through the rest of this year. I've been warning people that the end of June is when I'm like, that's it. That's all, folks. Like, I don't know what else to tell people. So when it comes to your love life this week, you know, it ain't playing. Are we ready to switch cards, or? Oh, yeah. Just waiting on Craig. Oh, yeah. Just waiting on Craig for the collective reading. Now we get into this cards. When I do the sun signs after this collective, it's just going to be like bang, bang, where the solar eclipse is hitting you, where this Mars stuff and Uranus semi-square, and, you know, where the Venus retrograde stuff. Remember, Venus retrograde, we've never been here before with Venus retrograde at 6 degrees. Never. As far as anybody watching this alive, none of us have. I'm ready for some cards.
Yeah, me too.
All right. First card that we got is the Judgment card reversed. Wow. Ooh.
Spooky.
Judgment is God calling upon everybody. And it's zombies that are being pulled up to Spirit's calling to get out of the dead energy. But this reversal means in your love life, if it's not a space that truly is in alignment spiritually with your life, this will take you down the wrong roads in your life. I know I put some extreme on you all, but to pull this as the first card, whew, judgment is also about removing any judgments about your real choices of your truth. Like you almost can judge yourself, like I shouldn't do this because this isn't the right thing. Well, the right thing is to do what God and the heavenly energy is in your life, not just, I don't want to be a bad person about really what I feel or what I think or what environment sucks for me. Don't get trapped, please. And be a dead soul. That's what the judgment card is. It deals with dead, gray humans that get resurrected by the trumpet of the angels that are trumpet calling you into the highest order. And the judgment in religion, and I'm in South Node Satch, I'm not going to pull religion on you, but I will say the judgment of religion, right, is like, do you hear the calling to God and go towards it? Put this as, do you feel your true spirituality, and are you on that path, or are you going to avoid that? Because it ain't messing around. Our challenge card, and we are using these sacred symbols, is nature spirits. Oh no! Not wanting to listen to the guides. The guides are everywhere. They are trying to get the message, and it's almost a challenge to like accept it. Now you got angels that are trying to get a hold of you, and with God, spirit, sources, trumpet calls, like, still, I don't know. Let's see if we got some more positive here in the outcome. Look at this, the Knight of Cups. Thank God, just take the slow emotional steps in the right direction and you're fine. Even though it might be uncomfortable, it's a lot more comfortable to be moving forward into the truth, yes, it takes a second sometimes with the Knight of Cups to get going. It's a slow card, but it is a slow card because it's just like, am I okay? Do I have everything I need? I just went through a lot. Like, okay, let me get in my U-bail and bail out. It's not U-Haul, it's called U-bail. How do we get through this? I changed it up. Black Moon Astrology cards as our way to get through these challenges. And we got the Mercury card. It's all in you know what to do. The facts. Go by the facts. And Spirit is trying to get you to the facts. Don't start denying the truth of what the message from Spirit is at all. Listen to the message from Spirit. Even if it sounds something that you and yourself don't want to do because you're too, I'll be honest, Knight of Cups to me is the knight that's trailing in the back because it's a wimp. But at least it's a knight on the trail going. So it's like you're part of the team, It's like all the knights up in the front, like the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords. You're like, well, they're going really slow. Do we wait for them? Or well, they're on the channel. Let's keep going. Dun, 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 dun. You know what I mean? Knight of Cups is like, oh my gosh, I'm on a horse. Like, I've never done this. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that person in any fucking old show that's tripping out, but it's got to go. So why do we pull that Judgment card? I'm going to pull a Black Mirror. Addicted. Oh, addicted. Oh, gosh, addicted to just doing what God doesn't want you to do. Ow. I think we got to be addicted to God a little bit more here. And why do we pull that Knight of Cups? The Justice card reversed. There is a lot in the collective that is ass backwards and not fair. And it's not fair. You know why? Because if you're not in a true space of, and this is like unjustification in many ways, right? A lot like the Judgment card, justice and judgment reversed. And the only way we get through this is our mind and moving emotionally forward with that confidence, even though it might not have to be like crazy, like, oh my God, blah, but it's just slowly trotting in that direction and knowing, especially if you see the birds, what is that? A swan? Oh, no, look at that. That's an angel. Looks like a bird. I'm telling you, the angels are everywhere. Look there is a white dove. It's time to go. Time to go, peeps, to the real shit. The Astro Dice are 12th house Venus in Cancer. Holy moly. Letting go of the emotions of relationships and also getting rid of the blocks of the emotions in relationships. So, this one is definitely only spiritual, family, emotional relationships will work. This is where spirit, family, light workers, I know I'm getting all high vibe tonight, but I'm just saying the ultimate high vibe, spiritual, aligned partners will only work. You cannot do two different worlds. I'm sorry, especially when it comes to belief systems and spirituality, because the cloaking of right now the media might be like, we agree on all these things in the media. It's like, okay, but you don't spiritually believe in the same things in the soul. Don't fall for the illusions right now. Damn. Wake up.
Yeah, it's like swimming upstream almost. It's fighting the currents, fighting the natural flow of the universe. Almost like we've kind of portrayed or built this image up in our mind, and it's not necessarily looking the way that it might. But sometimes we have to trust. Sometimes we have to keep going with it and not actually just like pushing against, let and see how it's going to play out in front of us before we make that final decision.
Boom. Well, because I think you're right. Like, it feels very final decision, but I think that it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you've got to do something. You just don't want to sleep on it or numb yourself out. This is definitely not a time to numb yourself out.
Yeah, all the information's been relayed to us. Now it's actually using it and applying it.
Boom. That's the best way to put it. The message has already been relayed. It has been downloaded, and you have to just load the program. But you're so afraid of double clicking it. Virgos are first. Maybe the Virgos can give us some better insight into our lives, maybe here. Virgos. All right. All right, Virgo, solar eclipse happening for you in your 11th house of a new world, as Craig was singing earlier from Aladdin. But on top of that, there's a lot of Pisces still going down. Mars still here. Neptune's still here relationship-wise, and finding the right people that work for your relationships or finding relationships through the right tribe. Like, are you around the right people? If you're around people that are all weird and all messed up and all that, and you're trying to go find a partnership through them, it'll be a messed up partnership. You do got all this Capricorn stuff, and this is a Mercury retrograde in your 11th house, so you got to rethink the people that you hang around with. Virgo risings. You got to rethink the people that you hang around. You're not going to find what you're looking for, especially with love and relationships there. Your first card for this week is, and the solar eclipse, is the Seven of Pentacles. So this is definitely a card where you got to start to do the hard work. It might feel like it's been a lot of hard work with no returns. But I will say that there's returns when you do the work maybe in the right space, based off the astrology here. So don't fret. It's just about like, where are you putting in the work? Who are you hanging around? Who are you hanging around? Have you been also doing the thing? It's 10th house, finishing all this stuff in Gemini, but it's still not over the Venus retrograde in the 10th, and you've got North Node in the 10th. It's about growing up now. No matter where you are, Virgo rising, you're at a place where you got to grow up now, and you got to change your world because it's not bringing you what you want. Your challenge for this week is the air card. So it's like the environment you're around, the way that you know what, it's the environment of also the kind of thinking that's around, or the kind of conversations that are around, or even the stimulation is maybe not there, or it's maybe too much. It's not the right space. So this is going to be a lot around, not only your communication, the kind of communication you have with people and the kind of people you hang around, but also the kind of groups. I mean, these are dealing with the air signs when you look at all three corners here. And this is definitely about where there's definitely a little bit, this is a Seven of Pentacles. Like, you got to go do the work to get the harvest correct and get the return. And it's almost like there's a lot of like overthinking, anxiety, and also overstimulation, or even the understimulation by, either denying yourself of like needing to be connected to the world more or connected to a completely erratic world. Your overall card that you got is the 9 of Cups in reversed, which is the card that says maybe it's time that you've been over optimistic about certain things, maybe a partner or relationship to work or so forth. I would say that also this is maybe over, doing too much, maybe over drinking or over enjoyment to try and settle some sort of emptiness that you have inside. And that's got to stop. You got to get back to making the harvest happen. How do we get through that air energy? You pulled the Sagittarius card. So you know what? It's time to see a whole new world and a whole new vision in your life. And it's time for you to expand. And I think that you're over the situations that you've been in, or you're just in a place where you're expanding in the beautiful things that you're at right now. And it's kind of run its course. It's not as optimistic as it was. And you don't need to trip out as much because you're going to retrieve the harvest. But on the other side of things, there's definitely a lot of Virgo risings out there that emotionally right now, I would say in their romance life, relationship life, like there's a lot that needs to be seen a little bit more, that you're not looking around enough, that all the world that you want to have is based around just the people that you're around, and gaining the interest of people in your life and being around people that actually are in the same alignment of what you want to do instead of wasting your time with a bunch of weird ass freaking people. The reason why you pulled that 7 of Pentacles, I'm giving you a dark card. I'm going to do dark cards all day today. Fuck it. It is the Bride in a Cage. Ooh. You're holding yourself from the true, happiness in life that you want in your life, because I think that you're harvesting around the wrong energies. If you are in a relationship that's going great, there's still something there's something that's coming up that's blocking you from feeling like the love that you want it to be fully. And I think that it's like, you feel like you're just doing a lot of work and there's not a lot of return. But I think it's like the return is readjusting your world, readjusting your life, and having to come into terms with what is blocking you. Are you not letting somebody in, or is that person not letting you in? And what is those conversations that need to be had? The reason why that you pulled that 9 of Cups in reversed is you did pull that Prince of Cups reversed, so which that is the Page of Cups reversed. Not a lot of true conversations going on. Over positive, just kind of avoiding the deeper truths emotionally, and trying to kind of put up a facade. And really, I think that no more facades. I know you're a realist, so it's kind of like, what happened to Virgos and just being real, right? It's funny because you can be real with a bunch of people, but when it comes to these sensitive issues with your romantic interests or your partner and stuff, that's where it gets a little bit gnarly. And that's where I'm picking up that there's some pretty intense issues going on. Your Astro dice you did pull the North Node, and you pulled it in Taurus in the 4th house. Yeah, it's time for you to actually start to rethink emotionally about how to make this a much better emotional life for you and your partnerships or the partners that you pick. Also, are you living in the right place? Maybe there's some Virgos out there, Virgo risings, that it's like maybe your home situation isn't as good. It's not the quality that you want it to be. It's not the true invaluement of what you want. And it also could just be like, maybe you need to recheck the value of where you're putting your emotions, right? You might be putting them in places that you're being treated like lower shelf, and you need to be high shelf, high quality, top shelf time. You can do it, Virgo. I'm not that worried from this reading. I actually see it as pretty good reading. So,
yeah, I think it comes down to, I think expansion is key. Stepping outside of the comfort zone, stepping outside of the limitations that you put on yourself. Through that, you're going to find a strength. It might be a little scary. Yes, you might not know exactly how it's going to look, but through that expansion, you're going to grow and you're going to find a whole new grassy field to play in.
A whole new grassy field.
Whole new.
By the way, I found some of my Egyptian wands, my crystal wands. I've charged these decks with them. Who's next? Capricorns. Cappy my happies. What's going on in the chat? Top shelf time. Can I bring my Dyson to the field, or my Dyson to the field? If it has enough battery. Well, all right, Cappy. This solar eclipse happening in your relationship house. I know another one. I know it feels like, why? But I think that this is to change the game for you. And this is to change the game, especially as we got Mars and, this weird semi-square over to Uranus. And this is about getting back into the world of people that are exciting to you and love that's exciting. And I think part of that issue is that you're in the same environment over and over and you don't know what to do and you're afraid to reach out. You're afraid to expand and try new things and connect with new people and give a little bit of risk and make changes when it comes deep to these relationship things. This Venus retrograde in your 6th house is saying that there is your way of you live your life that isn't allowing relationships to really work. And that needs to be rechecked here, especially this week. First card that we got for you this week is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Yeah, you're trying to control things too much. Like a typical Capricorn, you don't want the wheel to turn to a new direction, even though it's like you kind of do. I always find with the Wheel of Fortune reverse, it's like you really want fortune, but you need to see your subconscious issues of you holding the wheel because you're afraid it might land on bankruptcy, or you think it's going to land on the wrong place. You're already at the wrong place. And you're trying to hold it at the wrong place. The universe is trying to move you to the most fortunate place and move the story to the new chapter, but it's almost like, no, I don't want it. Just keep the scene the way it was. It's like that scene is over. That scene's over. The way that you live and this goes for single or relationship, caps. It's over. The way that it's been working, it's over. It's needing a major change. Let's see what the conflict is. Oh, a new moon. You're afraid to start something brand new and fresh. Wow. Wheel of Fortune reverse, new moon card. Oh man, as your challenge. Wow. Why are you so afraid to start the new? At least this is a solar eclipse in your 7th house of relationships without the North Node. At least it's just 1 degree away in Gemini, which is your 12th. It's your 12th house. Like this is trying to reset a lot of your realities into a much more spiritual place. But you got to be more open. You got to be more free. And allow it to happen instead of trying to hold on. I got to hold on to it. The universe is trying to go, nope, it's all new. And you know what a new moon is in a solar eclipse? It's a cigar cutter. As the moon approaches the sun and blocks it, it's just like a cigar cutter. Like, chic! Your overall is, wow, you got the Queen of Wands reversed. Why overall? Why do you feel like an idiot with love? I think it's because you're afraid to step into the queendom of your amazing feminine loving energy that you want to have in your life. Or you have a partner right now that is, it doesn't matter who you're with, what kind of person you're into. It's like, you're afraid either A, to step into your feminine fully in love, or you're afraid for that feminine love to be into your life. The real feminine love, or you're with a partner that doesn't embody that at all. Or it's caused a lot of draining from that. How do you get through this new moon issue? Oh, North Node at least. But you know what? This is life's purpose. It's in your, 6th house here. It is your 6th house. Because you get that 12th house opposition going on. Well, I will say that this is definitely about changing your whole entire reality and letting the new change come in. The new relationship energies to change. It'll bring you to your real life's purpose, because I think overall that you feel that you need something new to start your life, and that's not wrong. But I don't know why you're afraid to do it. Your Black Mirror card is, wow, you did get the Gildred Regret. So I think that, you want to still hold to the regrets of the past and still keep growing them on your forehead. I think that, you learned a lot from it, especially with that Wheel of Fortune reverse. It's almost like you don't want, I've already failed. I don't want to fail again. And I don't want to fail right now by me either making a change or allowing something new in. You know what? You learned from that. And if you want that story to end, you got to let the new story begin. Why'd you pull that? We're going to go, because it was the Queen of Wands. We're going with the Botticelli deck here. And you pulled, the Ace of Swords upright. Yeah, this is starting from a whole new, fresh space and getting the courage and confidence to really slice a new reality. And it's exciting and stimulation. So by going more into the feminine, if you associate more feminine, or if you associate more masculine and allowing some feminine in, you're going to feel like a whole new environment, a whole new excitement, and a much more positive energy, and not so much anxiety either. So I'd say that this is a good reading too, but you can't be afraid here, Cappy, of the old. I know that the Capricorns like to energetically be old. You're not a grandma or grandpa. Even if maybe you are, you're not one. Let's remember that you keep going. You don't stop. This is not retirement from love, Capricorn. You got the second house, Gemini, Neptune. Ooh, self-worth, mental issues that are all your sensitivity. I don't look good enough. Maybe I don't know how to really represent myself. That's an illusion that you're creating within yourself. You need to get rid of all these sensitive issues, especially regarding the way that you live your life and the way that you look and the way that, you know, step into the exciting beauty of it. Make it a magical picture. Like, you are that. And if anybody has the skin to do it, literally you rule the skin, it's you. Like, Capricorns know how to look the part better than any other sign. I'll give you that as a secret. So start to embody that.
In a sense, almost maybe like a fear of being let down again also. You know, and that's obviously that's something that can creep into our mind always, because we don't want to get hurt again. And there's always that thought is, can I trust this person fully? You know, and that's a decision you have to make, but is that a decision that you're going to keep yourself closed off because you're going to be afraid from that always? That's not going to be healthy either. At least you can learn from that. At least you can apply the pain and say no, and you can sense when situations aren't necessarily going the right direction. But don't just shut yourself off. Be open to those new doors.
Yeah, because there's nothing more exciting than new doors anyway. I mean, I know that, let's just be honest. If you think life stays the same your whole life, it doesn't. This whole life is about the journey, the adventure, the excitement of the new doors. I'm not saying that you know, when it comes to love, that you can't just be with somebody for your whole life. But even in those relationships, you have to keep climbing the ladder and changing the doors and opening the doors and going to new places. But if you're in a place where you're so afraid of, like how Craig said, which I think embodies a lot of it, just the fear of something turning up, or the fear that something's going to happen again. What do you think's happening now? It's more like it's already happening now, that you're not changing things and you're not stepping into it. You're not taking some risk. You're a Capricorn. You're supposed to take risk. You're the one who is risk. So, I think we got 1,000. We got 1,000. I think we're about to do that 1,000 collective reading. Please share the video. Let's try and pop this to 2,000 tonight. We've gotten so close. Actually, we used to do 2,000. I forgot we did. Lately, though, I don't know what's up. If you've never watched this 1,000 collective before, this is a pretty simple reading, but it's pretty directed towards you and your personal life. Right now, I want you to think of one person that you're flirting with, you're in a relationship with, you're dating, whatever it might be, but you can't be like picking somebody that you wish to be with that you've never talked to in your life, something like that. Dating sites are fine if you're talking to them. Can't be somebody that you swiped on and you're not talking yet to still. So those are the rules, and you can't use this reading on somebody else. So after this reading goes down, you can go, oh, well, it's about that person. It's like, oh, yeah, you get around, don't you? I'm just kidding. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just switch it. Like, oh, no, it's about that person. No, you got to keep it on this person. You see how beautiful Kim Tabey's door is behind me? This was her first painting. Put that person in that door right now. Close your eyes, because you want to really know it's that person. I'm going to count back from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got that person in your head? Some people are turning around a lot of people. I'm just going to give you like another 2 seconds here, because my guides are telling me you got to like lock it down. All right. It's locked down. Bam. All right. Let's see what happens with this reading. We got the Four of Swords in reverse. This has been waiting a long time to try and figure out what's there, but it's this week definitely confronting what the real issue is. So the good news is here that you're not going to be waiting on time. There's been a lot of over-processing, and it is coming out of the oven. So you're going to figure out what's going on. We're going to get more deeper in what is that, but at least this is definitely not going to be hanging around with an unknowing or a question or what the hell's going on, and definitely it's not something to sleep on either. The challenge with this one is the healer card. So, you know, maybe this issue between you or this person maybe isn't revealing that they need to be healed. I would say that they're acting like everything's kosher, but really it's not. And also within yourself. So it's like, believe it or not, the struggle is going to be realizing that you two are trying to connect to heal each other in many ways. And I'm not saying that that's like the only reason you guys are getting together, but I would say that that's a challenge. It's almost like, no, I want to do everything for you. You, like, you know, you do. It's like, no, like we both are here for each other, you know? But it also has that eye of Horus, right? So it's like that eye that sees the sun. It's like focus on that eye that sees the greatness together and that understands that we're imperfect people and we're imperfect beings. And so this person or you together or yourself has to come from that place of allowing all the way to this point, whatever's happened has happened, and allow that to happen. The overall card that is there is the Knight of Wands in reversed. So overall, this is like an unsurety of whether to jump into the thrill of the extreme happiness, or this person doesn't want to jump in. I think we're going to get deeper of why, but there's going to be maybe that feeling. And I think that, you know, there's doubts. There's definitely doubts. So there's definitely fears of jumping in. There's definitely fears of jumping into this thing. Doesn't have to be the worst, but there's definitely some, oh my gosh, should we really jump fully? Should we really do this? How do we get through that healer card? We pulled the sun card. So funny. It was the eye of Horus, and then there it is, sun card. And I was saying, focus on the sun. This is definitely about like, see the positive of the sun, the spirit between you both, the individuals that you both are, you know, individually, but together. This person also as well, like knows how to be their soul. And that's what they are, is they know how to heal. Maybe they're not aware that they're a healer. Maybe that they're not aware of their powers. Maybe they're downplaying their power. Like they've got some past stuff that they're letting dictate their life now, that's not true. The Black Mirror card for this reading is fragmentation. With that, you know, it almost feels like because time has kind of gone so long, it almost feels like there's been so many elements that have been fragmented all over the place. It almost is like a little bit like so many pieces have been trying to be built for so long and they're kind of scattered all over the place. So it's like, you know, you don't even know what to do when the time comes, right? Like it's almost like, this is going to be like a lot of things that are like how to bring it all together. How is it going to come together? Or this is an issue right now. It's like a lot of energy, but are all the pieces coming together? And you've been waiting a long time for it, but at the same time, it's like oversaturating on the fragmentation. Let go of the fragmentation and defrag and allow things to come in and work in together. The reason why there might be a hesitation to jump really fast is the wheel reversed. There it is, trying to control fate. Let fate just be the way that it is. If it says to jump in fast and you both agree with that, then that's it. Or you're dealing with somebody who doesn't want to jump in because they're trying to control their fate. And you're going to have to make a choice whether or not that's who you want to be with or not. And, you know, and where they're going to turn out with that. Well, the Astro Dice might give us a little bit more insight here. And we got the moon in Taurus in the 12th. So this is definitely a positive moon, but it's in the 12th. So there is something to say about this having to be a deeply spiritual bond that is not broken, because the value of the spiritual emotional essence is everything. And that's what to focus on. And if that person can focus on that and you can too, and there's definitely something beautiful here. It also is removing a lot of values, right? So there's going to be things emotionally that each person or this person values that they're going to realize they're going to have to let go of in order for it to work. And that might be why they're trying to control their fate. So just know that.
Yeah, I'm picking up, I don't know if, you know, maybe these individuals, I'm thinking like, almost like you tried this relationship out before, you know, you've run into situations that didn't necessarily work out, as trivial as they might be. And it's almost like, should we invest more time and do this again? But you can't necessarily just look at the reasons why it hasn't been working out. I think it's time to focus on the reasons that why it was working out and the reasons that why it could work out. I think that would be a much healthier outlook to be. A lot of people just focus on the negative reasons as well. Oh, why I can't be with this person, when really you need to focus on the goodness in that, the goodness in the results that you're trying to get.
Yeah, I mean, I think that with the fragmentation, it's almost like it's maybe somebody that it didn't, and this, I don't think it's for everybody, but it could be the situation, somebody that you've tried things, but it's kind of felt like everything's, this person, it's like the time's never been right, or everything's been always all over the place, and then it's finally here and you don't know what to do with it. And I think there's a lot of fears to jump in or not, and control, when you got to let go of control and just jump with the fire of life, and instead of keep fragmenting it, because controlling the wheel of life and controlling destiny is continuing the fragmentation more. Like, the only way for this thing to like smooth out and all the pieces to come together is by letting go. And with the moon in the 12th in Taurus, I mean, letting go of the values and how you think it should be emotionally to be there, and finding the deeper special, the quality, emotional, spiritual essence of things. And if I had my dragon thing on for my TikTok that we did for our promo for tonight's show, anyway. There's your collective. I don't think it's a bad situation though. Sometimes in bad situations, I don't think it's bad. I think it's gonna be definitely more individualized spiritual issues going down that are not that bad. I
spelled collective wrong. Sorry, everybody out there.
Oh, that was collective. Collective.
It's the new way.
It's the new way. Hey, it's a new. Oh my gosh, it's Libra that just got broken to half. Is that a sign?
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, Libras are having freakouts right now.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I mean, I had it, and then Libras are like, we're so used to this though in our life. And this is what it feels like. It feels more like this and that. Hey Siri, remind me to make a new Libra Deep Love Tarot red cup paper.
All right, I've added it to reminders.
Libras, the solar eclipse is happening in your 10th house. Destiny is the course, the 10th house. Tough choices, but they're tough choices, I think, in your belief systems, and that's what you're rethinking with this Venus retrograde, your ruling planet. But hey, what kind of life do you really want? Are you ready for a life that gets you more of what you want? Like, it's almost like you're afraid to step into the excitement of what you really want by staying in alignment with this path that is maybe only about work, or you're just doing a relationship for work, or your relationship is work. Or if you're in a relationship, you're still doing work. And if you're single, you're still doing work. And I think that's great. But I think that this is about also, how do you bridge your reality with love that actually makes sense for your actual personal life? And one that expands your life instead of keeps you in the same place and keep going, well, I mean, I can get over all these little things. It's like, are you really fucking happy? This is Saturn retrograding in your 5th house. It's about to exit. And this Mars-Uranus semi-square is definitely going to turn a whole leaf of like their deep needs and wants in your reality. And if they're missing, even in a relationship, got to make some big girl and big boy choices. Your first card for this week is the Ace of Pentacles upright. Finally, we see some good stuff here for Libra. This finally can get you to that new destination, that new reality that you really want. So I would say that this eclipse and this week is definitely bringing you to a place where there's some sort of new start. There's some sort of new physical, element of reaching for a greater place and reaching the end all be all of the actual physical reality of manifestation. But it also means too that there could be some situations that you're in that, if the reset is not possible, that there's a reset going to happen either way. And that might be that whole tearing thing that we saw. Wow, we got the growth card. Look at the fear of growing in your life. To have the new world. Libras get caught into this one a lot. It's like, I'm going to stay in that pattern and I'm just going to swirl in there. This is not a jacuzzi hot tub at a 5-star resort. This is growth. And this is your challenge. The growing of being real, for the life that you really want in your reality and the love that you really want. And it's tough. Saturn, trust me, I'm a Leo. I went through Saturn in the 5th house when it was in Sag, and I'm going through it in my natal chart as lately arising, and it's finishing. Or actually, when my 6th is coming back. It's not easy to make hard choices for new realities. But you know what? The other side is much sweeter. Wow, you got the Sun card upright. I would not be worried at all so far. This is trying to find the ultimate happiness of your life overall. And it's just like the inner child, but you got to follow your own inner child. And you got to get on that horse, even if you are a little, look, that's like my nephew right there. That's Nathan. He was just born. He's out on the horse like, fuck you, Dad. I'm going. Got fun. And finding that inner child and that true soul and that true spirit that's consciously aware. This is a week of major consciousness of the denial of growth in your spiritual relationship love life.
I'm sure Lyle's counting on the days till he can get him on a dirt bike.
We already were talking about when he was, when I held my new nephew and he was trying to stretch. That's what they do when they get out of. And we were like, oh, look, he's already got good grip on the handlebars. And then my brother's like, oh, he's going to be skating too when he's young.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah. My brother was a crazy skateboarder.
And the hat flip tricks.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure. Well, you know what? I might have to be a big, good uncle and be like, hey, hat flip trips, No.
They're cool in elementary school. When you're 25, they're still pretty
I
cool.
think when he was in construction, he had nothing to do, and so he would take those old flip phones when they first had a camera, and he would do it. And you know what? It was very 2000s.
It took talent.
We're in the 2020s now.
I think I did like once.
How do we get through this growth, Libra? The moon card. You know what? You got to feel your true soul. And stop washing it away down into the drain, or you know what? The Canadians call it a garburator. They don't call it a garbage disposal.
Garburator.
Yeah. I didn't believe it. But when I heard garburator, I was like, what? I don't believe you. And then it was like, wow, shit. Keep putting your emotional truth soul down the garbage disposal, and you're not going to grow because, I can't have that. It's just my emotional needs are garbage, basically. Let me keep throwing it down there for my partner or my single life where it's like, I should just accept it the way it is. Expansion. Look at your mirror. What is your mirror? The temple of my body. So this is definitely where there is not a lot of satisfaction going on there, or you're not attracted to your partner, or you're feeling like maybe you're not attracted to your own self. Especially with that Ace of Pentacles. This is about a new value system in you first, your own body, your own expression of your physical nature and self. And if you are in partners or dating and stuff, like if you're not that attracted to somebody and you're just in it emotionally, those combos have to be had, but also those truths have to be looked at, Libra. You are about beauty. You do rule art. Humans are art to you. If you're okay with that IKEA picture still, when there's some real artwork out there, I'm not putting down IKEA artwork. I'm just trying to say a good example. Like, you can't buy Kim Tabay's painting behind me that was made by hand at IKEA. You're not going to find an octopus with this beautiful energy of this feminine getting sucked down deep into the ocean. Like, you're not going to get that. Not going to be at IKEA, folks. You can't buy some fix to this weird body sex. There's sexual stuff too with the astrology, with the Uranus in your 8th. You pulled the 6 of Swords in reverse. Gosh, it's like you see the light. You see where you want to go in your life, but you don't actually want to go. 6 of Swords reverse doesn't take the ferry to the new world that's going to take you there and leave the place that you're stuck with. Why? Why are you going to stay stuck and not grow this week? Why? You pulled Neptune, and that is a 9th house, sir, and that is with Venus. Neptune in the 9th house. It's like you're afraid to expand into your spiritual dreams, but also not being delusional. If somebody doesn't want to be with you, then move on to another dream. Like, you know what I mean? Just keep the dreams going and also keep expanding in what feels good and what feels divine, instead of trying to hold a story that maybe God doesn't want you to be in. That's what I got to say, Libras.
Yeah, and I think it's that realization of that internal beauty that you have, that you are Libra. You know, I think you need to tap back into that sexiness that you've kind of been suppressing. or whether that is that you feel you're not worthy of that relationship, or you feel like that individual is not worthy of you, you are always worthy. You should always be radiating that love. You should always be putting that beauty and that sexiness out into the world. Sometimes what they say, you got to fake it till you make it. Well, it's not about faking it. It's just realizing that you actually already have it and putting it out into the world.
Yeah, and I think that's the issue, is that people get kind of caught up in, well, like you said, like sometimes you just are like, I don't know if I can be sexy or attractive, or I don't deserve that person, or you know what? I am not into this person. I'm just going to do the fair thing and give them the time of day or the time of week or the years or the life. It's Libra's story, is that the judge always must make a choice. How long are you going to grandstand this relationship life and not come to a verdict?
Sexy.
The longer you don't come to a verdict, the longer the disharmony goes down. Who's next?
Ooh, come on down.
Who's next?
You are worthy, Libra.
Cancers.
You are worthy. Cancers, you are worthy too. Crab people.
I feel a lot of Cancers moving around this week.
Crab people.
I wish I could make a better noise for you, Cancers, but you know, like.
Whatever the sound of sand sliding.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, or just like. Well, Cancer, this is the solar eclipse in your sign. I'm sorry. Another one. I know it's been a lot. For 2 years you've been having eclipses in your sign, and it's getting old. I know, I get it. I'm a Leo. I went through them before you. I went through that total one that was on August 21st, 2017. Sent me off in a whole different direction in my life. This is the completion of the solar eclipse cycle for you in your sign, for the North Node version of it. It's out of nowhere with the Venus retrograde in your 12th, as the universe is telling you to relook at the stories in your relationship life. You do got all this energy in your 9th house saying the stories don't add up anymore, and that you have to kind of get over the subconscious, and the story is not really what it is anymore. This is finally going to give you the strength to do what you must do, to get what you must want in your life, make the changes that you need to make in your relationship world, and give you the confidence to do that. But with all that opposition, are you going to keep playing this, you know, fear of the implosion of the great change in your relationship life? Saturn's still in your 8th house through this one. Mercury retrograding, by the way. I keep forgetting to bring up Mercury retrograde. That's how recording this right before Mercury comes retrograde does that to you. You have to rethink who you are this week and what you really want, even though I think it's already been very clear. The solar eclipse is making this very clear, but it's making a very big impact in being like, yeah, there's a lot of things. Remember that Mercury rules your 12th house. And you have Venus retrograde there, and you have the North Node. There are things that aren't adding up, and you've got to be clear on them and know what they are, and you got to start to bolt in that direction. Especially you got Mars about to decimate some craziness when it comes to making big choices in your life. Because Mars is going to create a force when it comes in Aries and square you and come into all the craziness that's coming, especially during your birthday period that's coming up. With all the Capricorn and Saturn coming back, this is your week to make change, Cancer, because I'm telling you, you're not going to feel comfortable till the end of the year. You can make yourself comfortable now. You did get the Three of Pentacles in reversed, so trying to build things either with a partner that hasn't been working, it's not going to work. Picking the wrong people that aren't going to build the life and the story that you want, it's not going to work. You're going to keep looking out that window upside down, and it's not actually creating the things in life that you want. This is also avoiding the truth. Maybe there's somebody else. Maybe there's an interest. I'll be honest with you. You might even be dealing with some sort of subconscious looking at somebody else. Sometimes there's love triangles here with the Three of Pentacles, and we got it in reverse. So it's almost like hidden, but not actually doing it. But in your... Or you're just dealing with your insides of comparing and contrasting Why compare and contrast so much? That means there's obviously an issue with number one, who you have chosen as number one, even if you are dating, that you're even comparing and contrasting. Because when it's truth and love, you're not even thinking about how to compare it. The only comparing you do is like how amazing it fucking is. But this shows it's not that. Wow, you got Stormy as your challenge card. So I felt it. I know it. The astrology never lies. Crabs definitely going to be looking for some sand, but they're not going to make it there yet. I think the challenge there is you're afraid of just storming up your life and changing it and letting the storms come through and trying to build shelter in a space that's already going to get blown out by a storm. Like, that's the best way I could put it. You got the Emperor reverse too. I think that, you're dealing with a partner and within yourself where I think that there's not a lot of strength there. There's not a lot of knowing, or you're going to see the weakness in somebody this week. And especially that makes you weak within yourself. There's no real security either. And that's what you like a lot. The Emperor reverse is a very insecure leader that doesn't actually lead well and actually is more of a false leader. So you might be either with a partner that's really not got the goods and is not stepping into their truth and their power, and within yourself, you keep denying the strength that you must have. You got 2 reversals already. Let's see what the Black Mirror card is going to bring up for you. Wow, you got sacrifice. Yep. Got to sacrifice to build what you really want to build in your life. You got to be around the right energy, the right people, instead of keep looking out backwards and avoiding looking, and there's got to be a sacrifice made in order to get to a better life. You got to sacrifice a shitty one to get to a good one. Why'd you pull that Emperor reverse? Let's pull a Botticelli, and I'm going to cut the deck. Just to show you that we don't fuck around on this show. You did get the King of Pentacles in reverse. Wow, this is somebody that's got financial issues, or you're around somebody who you better not try to take care of somebody right now, or somebody that said they were going to take care of you isn't able to take care of you anymore. This is definitely dealing with a partner or a lover or somebody that you're interested in that doesn't have the goods. It's fake. It's not real. They don't got it, and they're failing. And you can't go save the day. That's going to cause you got to sacrifice it. You can't go sacrifice yourself and go down with the Titanic here. That's the storm. Like, do you really want to go, well, I'm in love with the captain. He was asleep. And actually it was not. It was the first mate who fucking crashed the Titanic. But because he's got this pride that he lost, and he lost the ship, I'm going to go down with this person? Do you really want to go down with the person? Were you there? You can think that you were, but you weren't. 8th house Mars Cancer. Holy cow. That's a falled Mars in the 8th house. Oh man, this is... Woo! This is definitely going to be something extreme change and death and rebirth emotionally that are not easy to deal with. And that emotion's hard for you to take that action forward. But you also got to look at maybe the emotion of my truth is going to be what takes me forward and transmute this energy. And more importantly, this is a falled Cancer moon or Mars. So it's not a strong Mars here, and it's in the 8th house. At least it gets a little pump up there. But this also means that the emotional, deep sexual connection is going to be your radar. There's a lot of wandering dreams and fantasies going on with Cancers right now about what else is out there. And there's a reason because of that, and it's in the bedroom.
Yeah, it's like you almost need to let that storm kind of carry this situation away and out of your life. Ooh. Sometimes it's not worth fighting for. Sometimes it's not worth fighting that storm, and really you need to go down underground when that tornadoes come in and get out of harm's way. There's no shame in cutting off a situation. There's no shame in changing the trajectory of your life. And if that doesn't include an individual, there's nothing wrong with that at all. We outgrow people all the time. But are we actually going to admit that? Are we actually going to take the steps to get them out of our life? That's what it really comes down to. Are we going to just let them keep poisoning the well? Poison anybody?
Hey, I used to listen to Poison the Well.
Poison the well.
We're in Nirvana tonight. You all know I'm a rocker, fucking, I already get fucking Christians who call me and think that I'm fucking Satan because I wear a black fucking cross upside down with a Nirvana shirt.
Nirvana, bro.
But I think that you bring up a point that I kind of want to just sit for a second here and talk about, right?
Oh,
it's like,
okay. What's up?
well, what you just said. I think that it's a very tough combo. What you just brought up, dude, about people afraid, I would say, just to, like you said, wash it, like let this thing wash away. And I was going to make a joke, but it actually might be kind of real, because it's like, maybe, yeah, it needs some wetness, right? It needs some lube to slide it through. And that's the issue, is it's dry.
Stagnant energy.
Yes. And it also doesn't, we are 75% water. We live in a world where it rains, where the ocean's 75% of the earth. Like we are, and you're a water sign. And this is a water solar eclipse, right? It's trying to burn through this oceanal water energy. And it's, I know that you have your protection always on. You're a crab, but it was funny because even you brought up the sand, right? Being in the dryness, but crabs have to go into the water. They don't just live on the sand. Even sand crabs, I don't know, some people might not know sand crabs, but sand crabs they dig down into the water, right where the water line is of the ocean, into the sand, so that they get the water. And as kids, when the tide gets really low and when the water comes up and then it pulls out, as a kid you could see their little backs, right? And as a kid you would just pick up the sand, you'd pick up a bunch of sand crabs in your hand and just like, I don't know, we would never mess with them. You just always like would have them and you throw them back in. But there's something missing in that whole natural element of being a Cancer, of being a crab, of being in the water and being, it's almost like you're I like to say for Pisces, a fish out of water, but it's a crab out of water and it's dry. How does one handle that, Craig?
A desert crab.
A desert crab. I don't know if I've seen a desert crab.
It's a scorpion.
Well, that's why I'm asking Le Scorpion.
You know, I think it's very important when you're in a relationship, if you do want to keep that going, to be completely honest about how you're feeling, about what's benefiting you in this relationship. You know, if there's lacking in certain departments, you know, maybe in the bedroom, maybe in the lust, maybe in just the appreciation of it all, because it stems back to that as well. If you're not feeling appreciated, if your needs aren't being met, then you're not going to be in the mood. And that goes the same way. You know, if you're treating your partner without that full respect that he or she deserves, you know, they're not going to feel up to it. So I think there's that common ground of needing to fully represent yourself within that relationship and be truly honest as to what you're feeling.
Yeah, and sometimes the rug's got to get the rug has to be pulled from underneath our feet, especially for Cancers.
Yeah.
Because think about this, the Emperor reverse and the King of Pentacles reverse. Like this partner or this person you're focused on, or this person you're dating, or this person you're interested in, put on the show of a lifetime that they have the abundance, that they can take care of you, that they're going to lead, that they've got this empowerment in their life, but they really don't. It's all facade. It's like, and it's kind of funny with Aladdin, right? Like, it wasn't Aladdin's great entrance that really got him the love of Jasmine. It was who he really was.
Jasmine.
But I think that in this case, there's almost a necessity for somebody who actually in your life is going to actually say what they're going to be able to do. Aladdin was able to actually still be, you know, a prince and a king.
And a riff-rat street rat.
Yeah, but he also had an ability to figure out how to do it. He didn't fail. There's something about some partner here that's failing. And the writing is all over the walls. And I read some Cancers in here like, I just want to go back into my shell and just, you know, drown out my emotions. It's like, that is not what to do. When shit goes down as a Cancer, the reason why you have a shell is to move on, and you have protection to move to the right place. Think about that. You're the only one out of the zodiac that has a shell in the middle of transferring your emotional world. Like, okay, let's use this whole mask situation going on right now with the world. Like, you get a mask to go on the airplane, right? Like everywhere you go, the universe has you think of your shell as like, no matter what goes on, you got a shell. Every other zodiac sign don't, okay? We're all naked. We didn't get a shell. So you're already the one zodiac sign that we're all looking at. Like, what the hell? You're still like, you get to get through and transfer through hard emotional shit with a shell and we don't? Maybe that's your issue.
Shell the crustaceans.
Shell. Oh, Scorp.
What's up?
Scorpio.
The party's early.
Party's early.
Party's early. There ain't no pie like Scorpio party, baby. Baby.
Ooh. Good thing I'm wearing a Nirvana shirt all blacked out right now. I can join this Scorpio party.
Wow. You can join. I'll put you on the guest list.
Hey, I got Mars and Saturn in Scorpio. If anything,
Yes. Continue.
I am the two malefics in Scorpio. I am one of the baddest Scorpios there is energetically, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not a Scorpio, but I'm part of the VAP Ultra guest list, if that makes sense. Because if you don't put me on the guest list, then y'all will be afraid.
Well, we got big bouncers out there in case there's any trouble.
Remember, the ruler of Scorpio is Mars, and I've got it with Saturn, so you don't want to mess with me.
Noted.
Because I will bite your head off and I will suck all the blood.
There we go.
All right, Scorpio, you ready to bite some freaking heads off and drink some blood? No, we're not talking about Bohemian Grove. We're just talking about your passions. With this North Node in the 8th, with Venus retrograde in the 8th, that's been your deal, is like, where is true connection that's going to show up and truly connect in the way that you connect? This 9th house solar eclipse in Cancer, you've been working on a lot with this. He's like, you're ready to expand the story of your life. And you're ready to expand your story with love and go on a great adventure. But love is everything right now. It's like there's a lot of love. You might not all reveal it. Remember, Scorpios are really good at hiding the story, but like love is everything to them, especially with Mars and Neptune and Pisces, the hidden house, right? Of your 5th house of love. Like, woo, love is on the mind. Love is on the soul. But with that that semi-square that's going to Uranus, it's like in your 7th house, it's like, yeah, you're going to need to totally go into kind of some really weird directions when it comes to relationships now. Ones that you've never done before, never tried before, never been in before. And it might take you on the craziest wild adventures of your life. But
Are you saying get our safe words ready?
yes. Although I don't think that you need a safe word. Because the real partner wouldn't need to have a safe word. They'd be truly connected. If that makes sense. So I think that Scorpios are a great time, one of the best signs right now for love, but it's almost like there's a denial of trying to hold on to a belief or especially like kind of a way of life that you think's valuable. That's not when it comes to the connection. The connection's everything for Scorpio, not the physical. Detachment from the physical version of how you see your life's got to be will get you into the connection. Your first card for this week, Scorpio, is the Knight of Pentacles upright. It's been a long journey and it continues, but it's definitely arriving at a destination that you're going to take something and pick something up and move that journey forward in life. You're ready for it. It's kind of like showing up at a trade post. Yeah, right. Ready to trade that in and trade in for something better. There might be some Scorpios doing that. But there's also this element of like knowing the value and knowing that you have been on a long journey for, you know what you want and you've got to freaking do it. Like, you got to do it. 9 of Pentacles is like, let's move towards that. Let's do this. Let's physically do this. Might change your physical reality though.
Someone just said it's time for mac and cheese, please. That person knows the way to my heart right there.
Well, are you sure when they got, all you Scorpios got new life as your challenge? You're too afraid to go start the new life. You're too attached to the way that your life is and your love life, the patterns that are holding that love life. So you got to look at your life actually and go, I know it's been a long journey, but it's a continuing journey. And the way that I'm living my life right now, is it really going to allow me to be in the love that I want? Yes. But you got to find somebody who's willing to be part of that life, and you have to be willing to be part of that life too and try and work things out. But there's something about just like the fear of just starting something new, even though this is where you want to go, is you want to go on a new life, but you're too afraid of it for some reason. Let's find out deeper. The overall that you got is the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So it's the overall of like that you don't think that if you do choose a new life, even though you know through this long journey you've been that life always does change and bring you the good stuff, that it's almost like you don't think the world will turn out. So it's like letting go of a whole, this could even be letting go of somebody that you thought was amazing and somebody amazing is coming in, because I'm seeing this like a reversed, like it's almost like she knows what's up. Oh yes, this is it. And then there's this denial or doubt. Like, I don't think the world might turn out the way I want to, because the bridge of that is that new life card that's in challenge. But I think it's like realizing like the new life does bring more of everything that you want in your life instead of the life currently in the way that it is. It's not really bringing the true value that you want. How do you get through this new life issue? South Node, life debt. There's somebody that you got to like let go of, or some sort of life energy that, you know, there's some sort of debt that just, but it's South Node. It's like the illusion. It's like something that you're holding on to deeply, especially here in the second house for you. And with this new life of change, it's just like, think that you're holding on to how you think the world should look. And so that's opposing your new life. Let love and let the transformation and let it go into the new space and see what happens. The new life will define what it is, but you're going to have to do a big karmic let go here to move into something new. Why did you get, what's your Black Mirror card? Obsession. Well, I think that we can look at this kind of positive. You know, you better be obsessed with what's on the journey and what's the best for you. But I think at the same time, you also might be obsessed over somebody that's not showing up on the journey. And that's what needs to be let go of. Because how is somebody going to come in that you're obsessed over that doesn't want to come in? Scorpios are always obsessed with somebody who doesn't want to come in.
Ain't that the truth?
Oh, so you got to let go of that person that, you know what? That's the issue to your new life. Guess what? The amazing life that you want for love is because you're obsessed with somebody who won't come in. Oh, that ain't no party.
Always a party.
No, it's not a party when you want somebody to come to the party and they ain't showing up.
What does it say?
How do you turn it back into a party when somebody that you want to show up to the party doesn't show up?
You do it by, if you can't love, what is it? Can't be with the one you love the one you're with.
That's a good analogy. I would say, yeah, then you go look around at the party that you're at and fucking go, you know what? This is the fucking party. It's right in front of my face. That motherfucker missed out.
Yep.
Bam!
They're lost.
And guess what? And that's just proving to a Scorpio, like, guess what? Yeah, like, this new life's way better, because I don't want somebody that was even doubting to go to the party and then what? They were at somebody else's party?
Not up in here.
Light, you got that 9 of Pentacles in reverse. You got the 2 of Cups in reversed. I knew it. I associated this with letting go of somebody. You're letting go of somebody you think is a soulmate that's not a soulmate in order to enter into a real soulmate situation in a new life. And the obsession there. It's okay. It's okay to let this person go. They're not even in your life. Even though you might think they are, and text messages don't count, and random one-night stands don't count when you're just like chucked out as like, you know, like, oh, you're just like chum. Neptune in the second house and Venus. Wow. This is definitely reassessing the values of the kind of relationships that you want and wanting the best of the best of the best only. And anybody who's not fairly showing up physically in your life, and also that doesn't even really, I'll be honest, the person that you actually think that you really want, that you're obsessed with, doesn't actually have the motives to actually give you the life that you really want. It's an illusion that you have to get over. You have to reweigh it out, and you have to see that the universe is offering something much better to you, but it's whether or not you're ready for balance and harmony in your life, even though you say you are, but it's almost like you're denying it because you're trying to value the old way that you think that the beauty and the balance was going to come. And I'm sorry to say, like, that ain't going to happen that way.
Ain't gonna happen.
Ain't going to happen.
Oh, well, you know, all those things definitely resonated because that was a lot of the work that I have had to do over these last couple of years. We were actually just talking about today, 2 years ago.
Right before we were on the show. Right before this show.
Yeah, right before the show. 2 years ago today, we got back from tour. And at that time, I was in a very happily committed relationship, so I thought.
And I was married, and they were friends.
They was married, and they were friends, and it all came crumbling down.
It all came crumbling down.
It took a lot of time and effort to get through all those steps that David just mentioned. You know, and with that, it does come with the worthiness also, you know, lacking the worthiness, because it obviously it hurts, you know, when someone leaves you and doesn't choose you, and that can be traumatic, and it takes time to work through it. But again, like I said earlier, through those traumatic events, you're going to find that power. Through those traumatic events, you're going to find yourself. You're going to tap back into that love. And then next, you can't be afraid to actually let love in. You can't just continue to block people out and get stuck in our own ways, which is very easy. I do it all the time. All the time, I get stuck in my own ways. But I'm learning to adapt. I'm learning to take other people's input a little bit better. And that encompasses everything. That encompasses love. That encompasses life. It's about working with each other in partnership, not just ruling.
Yeah, and when that happened 2 years ago, it was funny. This weekend, I just cleaned up the shop area just because I had seen during that craziness of the breakup, and for me, I had to go through a divorce, which was not easy. It takes longer. Like, you know, the ex doesn't just go away. It just, you know.
No. And
there's having to be formal. And
I'm moving out of my apartment actually this week that we lived in together. So it's crazy the timing of it all. It is fully a closing of a cycle.
There's a lot of closing.
That. Huh?
I was going to say, though, one thing that you and I share in common, though, is it's not like those exes of ours are hitting us up, right? So it's like you learn to also, if they do hit you up, because that does kind of happen sometimes, right? Like, just to know, like, well, what's the situation and why they're hitting me up? And then when you get to the truth, God reveals the truth.
Yeah, I don't know if my ex even has service. She got pregnant like 2 months after she moved out and moved to Mexico to have a baby on a commune.
I know.
So, yay.
Yeah, we don't need to go relive all that, but I was living in my RV while I was paying for the most expensive place in Newport Beach. Fucking, I was just like, oh my God.
I'm glad it's all over.
I'm glad it's over too. But it's just like, I think that this might help all people right now, that you can get through the worst, what looks like the worst, and come out the other side better, stronger, much more understanding of what's true, and be okay. Like, it's work though, but the more that you obsess and wanting it to be something that's not, and it just, that turns into a horrible place. And it does create chaos within. That takes a while for you to turn that chaos off and find all your inner issues, and it's possible, folks. So
it's possible.
Woo! You know, but there's something about Scorpios this week, gotten to let it go fully.
Let it go.
Because you don't want to come into this ninth house thing and have the, oh, I wish for the old thing to come back. And I'm sorry to say, even Aladdin's coming up a lot lately, but even the genie says, well, you can't wish for anybody to love you. Sorry.
Nope.
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 Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope. So, and any Scorpio party, anybody that ain't showing up, ain't part of the party.
They can F
And they ain't gonna
themselves.
fuck your party up. I know, because we throw parties here all the time, and Craig and I have been going to parties our whole life, and I used to throw parties, and guess what? When somebody didn't show up at the party that I really wanted to show up with, do you think that I just the whole night sat there and just didn't enjoy the party and went like this? And got on the DJ decks or watched my buddies DJ or fucking... No. I was like, I'm in the party. That person chose not to come. They're not on the list anymore. Who's on the list now? And always when I switch that energy, man, I'm glad I've lived.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, Sages, they know how to live, or do they know how to live anymore? The adventure of a life. Or are they constantly stuck in the same place?
That was perfect placement right there. Did you see that?
I saw that. It was like right
first
on
shot.
both. Perfect. Just bam.
It's almost like I know what I'm doing.
I think so. After 3 years.
Almost.
What do you mean? April 2017.
No, I almost know what I'm doing.
Oh, I was going to say. I'll never forget April 2017. I'm like, here, get on the fucking system and figure it out. I don't have much time. Have a good time. I will say this, Sag. This is going to be, and I know, it's very easy to hear all my horoscopes about you all and say, this motherfucker, this guy. I know. It's Venus retrograde in your opposite sign, your relationship house, and the North Node's here. And guess what? The sun's leaving Gemini, and guess what? It comes to a solar eclipse in your 8th house of death and rebirth. Transformation. Intensity. Passion. Sex. Truth. Secrets. Edge. The ASMR rebound on this is hilarious from Craig. With all this Pisces energy, though, still going, and with Mars here, with Neptune here, it's like trying to be in the illusion of safety. But this edge is going to come on that's going to say, I don't think so.
Not up in here.
And the quincunx that we start this week off with the sun in Gemini to Jupiter, Pluto, is saying, well, are you just in relationships because it's easier to hold on because of, well, the physical nature of it, to money, to status, to we have possessions? I just went through a divorce, 500 pages of fucking financials. I mean, I say I just, but the shit was like last year. But you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter what you got, what you still hold on to. This eclipse is saying, go to the truth. Stop being in denial. Where's your hunger? Because if you're trying, it's like a Snickers commercial. You're that person who's just all, and they finally eat the Snickers and they're like, oh, I'm back to normal. You are starving yourself and you are creating the illusion that you're eating with fake food that's not even there. Time to end that story, Sag. You pulled the world card reversed. You're too afraid to see the completion and the end of a cycle, and you're trying to keep the world the same way. This also is bad luck because you're not allowing luck to come in. Luck sometimes is when a story ends, right? To create a new story. There's something about the Wheel of Fortune and the world card that are very similar, right? They both have all four of the zodiac of the fixed signs. And with this reversal here, it's like you're trying to play God. But for some reason, you can't keep this as like a little, you know, like, I don't know, like a little gingerbread house. It's going to go bad. Gingerbread houses go bad. They mold. You can't eat them. You'll get sick. And the world reversed is saying, like, don't be afraid to step into the world, truly the one that you want in your romantic life, instead of keeping the world that you don't want to be in, but trying to convince yourself that this is the world. There's a lot of convincing that you're in the world that you want to be in, but you're not. Look at this. You're so afraid because you're afraid of the travel to the new place and you don't think it's going to be safe and you think it's going to be crazy and it's going to go against your roots and your foundation. But are you even in a place of root and foundation? I guarantee you not. You're in a weird place. Look at your home life. I bet you it's weird. Sagittarius are going through the weirdest home life. And this is Sag risings too. This is like weird home life. Weird emotional life. Weird. Like this is like, I'm trying to hold on to this world because it's the only place that's safe for me at the moment. It's pretty crappy. It's not the world you want to be in. It's a world reversed. Guess what? Hi, I'm God. Which kind of world do you want? Oh, I'm good, God. I've got it under control. Okay. You sure about that? I've got this great world and I'm going to transfer you to. It's going to be really good. It's the exact world you want. I listened to your dreams. I created you. No, I'm good. I don't trust your safety, God, of what you're telling me to do. I want to create this weird safe place that's not safe. Okay. Let's see how that one goes. Ooh, 9 of Wands in reverse. It's maybe Sag finally take down the walls and the borders and stop trying to protect somebody. You know, I always look and love 9 of Wands reverse is like just if somebody goes, oh, wow, that's your partner, or you like that person, you're going out with them. It's like, yeah, they're great. They do this and they do that. And then when it gets deeper, it's like you don't even have much to defend them with. It's kind of like, I mean, they're just great. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, why? Like, they do this and they do that. Well, how's their job going? How's this? And it's like, well, they don't really have like that. You know, you start realizing that you don't have much to defend. You don't have much to put the energy into because it's like, in this case, the wands have fallen down. Like there is nothing behind these walls that are even worth defending. It's like, yeah, and that's a piece of crap land over there. Like, why are you, you know, if you were to just go, I always say this, 9 of Wands reverse, like if you were to just go to like some nice property or something, usually they have like some gate around their house, or I don't know, what's that place in Seattle right now called?
It was formerly known Chaz, now it's Chop.
Chaz, now Chop, they change every day. That's where you're at right now in your life. You really think those walls look really nice and it's like people are there like trying to defend that position? Like, just from what I look at, I don't know too much about it, but it doesn't look, I remember we were just watching the news and I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know, that place does not look safe to me. It doesn't look very friendly either. I'm just saying that, like, are you kind of going into now crazy town? Wow. Your issue with safe travel is you're afraid of death. You're afraid of transformation. You're afraid of complete change. These Sag readings for years have just been just mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
Why are you so afraid to change the way you are? And intimacy is the number one change of Pluto. Intimacy and the safety of being fully intimate emotionally and physically and spiritually. Like you have just, but no, I don't want that. I don't want to have that world. Yes, you do. That's the world you want. But you're like, I'm going to say safe in this world that I am completely empty of. Wow, your Black Mirror card is the downcast pride. I think that you have pride for things that don't hold any water at all. And honestly, you can't live off that pride because it doesn't give you anything in return. It lasts for little moments. Reminds me of my life in Hollywood. It was like, oh my gosh, got on another show, got on a red carpet, got on this. The pictures last a day. The story now on Instagram lasts 24 hours and only a certain amount of people, your followers, even see it. And it's like there's something about you're living the idea of this, especially behind the world reverse, this world that's maybe even your partner's a little bit too prideful over a world that isn't even real or isn't even working out. Could be you though too. The reason why you pulled this fall of your defenses against this is 8 of Pentacles. You need something that works. For some reason, this is not working. Especially with the 9 of Wands in reverse, right? It's like you're defending a place that's got no reason to defend it because it's not working. Like it's not really creating things. And there's a teaching lesson in this. It's like, it can be very monotonous too. I'll be honest with you. It's almost like the monotonous, like basic, like hamster wheel isn't even creating anything worth defending. It's just, you might as well hire a chat bot to be your partner and just go with you on your phone and have like a 3D version of it and be like, hi, I'm your partner. Because there's something deeply missing here with Pluto in the middle on top of that safe travel. Emptiness. But you can fulfill emptiness really easy by allowing the cup to open. Wow, you keep it. Look at that. That thing went flying.
Went flying.
These look at this thing landed on the corner with 1st and 5th. So we're going to do something funny. 1st and 5th. You identifying what you love and what to love is confusing with Neptune. The 1st, 5th, Neptune. And it's in Gemini. The environment you're in, the stimulation that you're in, the excitement. It's almost like the delusion of what you think is exciting that actually the facts are saying otherwise. And then there's ones that are showing you facts that are really true. And you're confused though, and Neptune rules your 4th, that you're emotionally invested in non-factual stimulation and trying to delusionally create in yourself some egoic identification of happiness that's not holding truth. It's the delusion of it. Hitler had Pluto, in Gemini. Even though this isn't Pluto, I'm saying that because he had the delusions when Uranus went on his Pluto that he could take over the whole world. And you pulled the world card reversed. And Gemini is where your relationship house is, and this is where Venus retrograde is. And he thought he was going to win the war, but by the time that Uranus hit his Pluto, that was the end for him. He lost his brain. He lost his mind. Literally lost his mind. I've got a big concern for Sages losing their mind off continually seeing negative results and emptiness off trying to figure out and be positive about things that are not even close to reality of fulfillment.
Yeah, since like a falsehood, maybe one of these people in this relationship kind of pumped themselves up a bit, maybe inflated, not necessarily their worth, but who they actually are as an individual and what they actually want to do. And now it's kind of like building a home on quicksand or walking through quicksand. It's like you're doing everything that you can just to keep your head above ground and to keep that momentum going. When in all reality, if there's no foundation of honesty, you're just going to continue on that hamster wheel. So I think it's really getting back and being honest with yourself and why you got into this relationship and who you actually are and who your partner is.
Yeah, it almost feels like it was trying to control. It was prideful. It was like, I think you're right. And with the world reversed, it was like, if we're looking at the past, it would be like your world was upside down. You thought this person was going to turn your world around. But if anything, they turned your world way around the other way, not the way that you wanted to. Now you're in like the weirdest world ever that you somehow think is beautiful, but you know it's not. You're afraid of the change of that, and you're afraid to be honest. Or they are deceiving you with safety. Taurus. Hold on, here we go. Well, my Taurans, I love my Tauruses. I actually don't think that this is the bad astrology for you. I'm going to give you that good news. You've got Jupiter and Pluto and trine to you. You've got the beauty of Venus retrograde in your own house to see that you got a lot more inside that you know you're worthy of. And then on top of that, we got a new moon that's going to be a solar eclipse in your third house, ready to change that environment and make it much better. So there's a lot of stimulation. There's excitement. I think there's a lot of excitement around expressing yourself much more the way that you want to, but I think that there's still some self-worth questions. There's a lot of friendship stuff. Maybe there's a lot trying to go there and trying to build relationship through friendships, but might be a little bit confusing or it might be a little bit weird. You also might be entangled with knowing this person or this person knows that person and this person, right? Tauruses are going through that shit. And on top of that, the Uranus in your sign, by the end of this eclipse and when we come into the beginning of next week, like you're going to be one of the only planets in your sign that's direct, and it's Uranus and it's reaching the next decan. It's hitting to 10 here soon. So you are rising up to a new environment and a new world. I think you got to let go of your trust issues about your own values. And I think that you have to learn how to do the art of seduction in a physical way better. I mean, you got to make the adjustments there, you know, of your actual reality. And I think that also love-wise, what's really exciting to you that's not too convoluted with people that maybe are confusing or people that you want to be around. And at the same time, I think it's like, you know what's the best? Stop picking second and third best down the line, because that's a representative of yourself right now. You did pull the Eight of Wands upright. This is definitely the Arrows of Love moving in the right direction. She is blissful. She's on her way to a date. She's on her way to go have a good time. So you got the Arrows of Love on your side. It's a great way to start a love reading. I was telling you, I was feeling it energetically just from the astrology. I was like, oh, Taurus, it ain't too bad. With these Arrows of Love, though, you must go the direction that Spirit is calling in the happiness department and that love. We're going to see the challenge with that Arrows of Love. Shifting. Ooh, it's almost like something really good's coming this week, but not knowing how to shift into it. Clunking on the gears. Trying to shift from first gear to fourth gear without putting the clutch through second, third, and fourth. I'd say that there's a little bit of just, you know, the shifting of your reality. And that might be the issue is Arrows of Love, the arrows of the Eight Wands go in a whole new direction. They take you to a whole new place, but maybe you're like, I can't shift that. I have this in my life. You're a Taurus. You're like, I have all these things. It's like, all that stuff can be sold and all that stuff also can be looked after too by people. That's why you have 11th house right now. So why do you think you have all these people in your life? Like they can help you with things. You get help. Like, why don't you ask for help? Shifting to make your life better. If they're your true friends, they will do everything to help you transfer. And if it's your family, they will do everything to transfer. You have Leo as your fourth house. You're lucky. So don't be afraid of shifting into whatever you want to do in your life. It's always been able to happen. Why are you so afraid of it right now? Your overall is the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Are you finally getting over your self-worth issues? I think so. I think that you're getting over the victim part of yourself and even maybe the insecurities of feeling that, you know, you've been given a bad hand in life. This is definitely the overall, and that's based upon if you shift into the Arrows of Love in the right direction. The way that you get through this shift is the air element. So I would look at the facts and just communicate and be honest with you. The air, look at this. It's the air. It's just like go up into the air of the great place. That's the shift. It's a light shift. But for you, you're making it a heavy shift in your head, and you just need to communicate the truth to yourself and look at the facts. Like, am I really afraid of shifting my life into a better place when the place that I'm trying to hold on to is not that great? It's not stimulating me at all, and this is. Your Black Mirror card is anger and chains. Yeah, I think that, you know what? The Arrows of Love are trying to get you out of a place where I think that you felt chained up. You've been a little bit upset the way love's gone in your life or the way a partner's been going. And this is changing the game this week. I think that, you know, these are the Arrows of Love that come out of nowhere that take you and swiftly take you. Shift. Holy shift. This is a holy shift week. But it's like, it reminds me of the old Westerns, you know, when you're locked up with the sheriff and like the deputy falls asleep and the dog gives you the keys and you almost are like, well, I can't do that. It's like, and your lover or whatever has the horse to get you out of town. And it's not like there's 100,000 people in this town, you know, there's like maybe a couple of hundred, you know, and they're all asleep. You just get on the horse and go right away into the sunset. And there was no computers to track you. It was like, let's go. I lived in the Old West in a past life. Trust me, it's pretty easy. Leo is your way to get through this air element. Love, happiness, your willpower to go into love. If you have Leo in your chart, Taurus, or maybe it's a Leo, follow the Leo energy. Follow that Leo. Follow that bliss. Follow that excitement. Follow that happiness. Follow the easy road, which is just being in the willpower of love and happiness and having a good time. And love and happiness is the ultimate light and the shining bright light. Time to go get a tan of love. A love tan. Why are you afraid of shifting into a love tan? Oh, I need to put SPF on. For love tan? Man. Come on, Taurus. You don't need that. You know what? Actually, it's funny. I already had pulled that. You somehow subconsciously had me pull it twice. You had two of those, though, but that was help you out, I guess. The moon card, look at this. It's just been your own subconscious emotions, family life, the way that you position yourself, and all the creepy crawlers have come out to see finally that these are subconscious issues that you hold on to. And this could be based off family, based off your own insecurities and stuff with this 5 of coins and being taken advantage of maybe in your own home life, or even being taken advantage just in your own self. Like you take advantage of, you know, feeling like shit as an emotional way to feel safe and secure. When this is trying to take you out, it's almost like this is a Sleeping Beauty story that Prince Philip has just gotten rid of the dragon and has finally come to you and has woken you up from your horrible spell from pricking the finger at 16 years old on the freaking, what was that? The spinning wheel of the pin needle. And you wake up and then you're like, I don't know if I can shift into this greatness. Can I just go back to sleep into my shithole? Can we turn it around? Can I be Prince Philip and sleep and, you know, Aurora comes and rescues me and slays a dragon and wakes me up? I'd go on that fucking ride. Would you, Craig?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's flip the masculine and feminine for a second of this role. The masculine will be like, fuck yeah. Especially as the feminine's rising and changing. Like, what if all the stories were to change? What if Aurora goes to get Prince Philip? He was the one that was cursed and put on there. You know what? The masculine would all day be like, oh my God, I'm waking up to the most beautiful thing of my whole life. I don't give a fuck what the shifting is. I'm going here. Beep! That's a masculine perspective of things. Like, we do not think twice when it comes to the most like fucking epic situation. Well, okay, let's go. You did pull the moon and Capricorn in the 12th house. Ooh, you got to let go of that emotional control of the story because there's a lot of control issues again for some of these readings. But Taurus, come on. I think that you have this emotional suppression, especially in the 12th and Capricorn that's going on. And it's like, are you turning into an emotional grandma and grandpa because you don't want to do anything that's that magical? Come on. Are you blocking? Why are you? It's a detrimental moon. It's like you're putting all your energy and you're not conserving your energy correctly. You're conserving the wrong energy emotionally. You're taking in the wrong energy emotionally and not being able to accept and go and shift into the greatest story ever fucking told. Man, I hope you don't blow it.
Yeah, no, I'm picking like a lot of like maybe like pent up frustrations that need to be worked through.
Ooh.
That are kind of holding you back.
There's good ways to deal with those though, Craig.
There are. And maybe it's time to allow yourself to relieve and to alleviate some of those pent up frustrations. Some of that stress that you're holding within, because that's going to feed out into the world. That's going to feed out into individuals that are around you. So better yourself, and that's a hard thing to do, to look at ourselves in the mirror and kind of figure out what it is that's holding us back. But I think that it's time to be real and be upfront so that you can work through that, can work through those traumas.
Said like a true Scorpio. Alleviate. Craig
Release.
Craig needs a couple massages with some organic mentholated muscle relaxer, and he does it. He alleviates it by doing it himself. See, there you are. You thought I was telling you to do it.
I do.
The Geminis that are finishing out their birthday weekend, this Venus retrograde. This is the last week of Venus retrograde, even though it does go to the 24th, 25th right there. This is the last full week. So, but it's going to go into next week. And this is a Mercury retrograde, and you're a Gemini. All right, Gems, happy birthday. Craziest birthday time of your life, I already know. I get it. But with Mercury retrograding here, the solar eclipse happening for you in your second house, yeah, this is about realizing, like, is this that great? And this goes to more than love, but your whole story of, like, the life that you're living. Like, is this that great? There's something about it that's not fulfilling you emotionally, and much more of an actual, not like an edgy way, but I would say that, like, what you've obsessed over has reached to the end of its obsession, and it doesn't have quality anymore. When we go out and buy things that we're obsessed with getting, and we get the Amazon package, or we get the new thing and we get it, weeks go by, months go by, and we don't have that same feeling. There's something about that with your love story this week, about some situation, possibly a partner, all the way to whoever you're dating, but there's some issues there. And with all this Pisces stuff going on in your 10th house, it's like, that you have created the illusion that the story is going in a destined direction, but the illusion has revealed itself to the Gemini, which you are, of the truth. And this Venus retrograde is new places that you've never been before. Literally, it's in the place that you've never been before. And I would say that with Mars and Uranus here in the semi-square, I would say with Uranus, well, yeah, this is going to turn a lot of things that you thought were on off, and turn a lot of things that you thought were off back or to on. And it's definitely in areas that are much more truly in alignment with your life. And I would say last thing, it's a Mercury retrograde this week, and you are ruled by Mercury, and it's happening in your second house of self-worth. That you deserve better. And I think that's what you're going to notice, is the quality in what you've chosen was from emotional need instead of emotional need with understanding the quality of it. You pulled the Page of Pentacles in reverse. There's definitely something that you held very near and dear to you that was so exciting. Look at this. Looks like a young Gemini, all excited and holding it all elfy and excited, and it's not that anymore. It's also the realization of the message is not one of creating something magical, but one of looking at the truth of what is not as magically physically anymore. And so I was just saying, your self-worth is definitely being configured here, of what you have and what you're choosing as partners or your partnership. And that's definitely going to be a lot of the main bases of this week. Your challenge card is the jealousy card. So I think that you are stuck in a position where you want something different, and it's almost like look at what everybody else has. But it's so funny because maybe people think, oh, look at what you have. But the truth is like, you can't tell the lie anymore. That eye is also looking at other things, or looking at your partner, or looking at situations and going, that's not what I want. I'm jealous. I wish I had that. That's like a challenge too. Or the challenge is denying the fact that there is something else wanted and pushing it down. Sometimes, we need that little bit of, gosh, I don't deserve this. And I look at that. That's a better life that I could have. Just looking at life itself and stop trying to suppress. Look at this. Your overall is the Empress card. This is a lot about quality, the ultimate, and redefining what that is. It's also the embodiment of the ultimate feminine that knows how to create and manifest everything. But you can't create things in every way that are spiritually not meant to be. That's one thing the Empress has to learn. That's why she has a High Priestess. You pulled the Aquarius. You already know. You already know what's not working and what will work. And that's what I think the hard part is like that jealousy card's really difficult because it's like you're almost jealous of your other twin that knows what to do, but you won't do it. That Page of Pentacles is still waiting for something to change, and it's not showing up physically to change. Not. The message ain't coming in a bottle. The UPS driver ain't driving with it. Your Black Mirror card that you got is Peaceful Among Thorns. I think that's your issue. You're surrounded in a situation around dire straits and really shitty placement. And I think that you have become peaceful among a place in which, is that really where you need to, like, you've proven that you can be peaceful in crappy situations. Wonderful. Is that a merit badge that you want to carry into love? I'm in a really shitty love situation and I'm peaceful through it. It's going really good. Because I'm peaceful and I'm meditating and you know what? I have a crystal here. I have this here. I have that here. I do this prayer here. And that's just how to get through my day of the thorns that are all around me. With that Page of Pentacles reversed, it's like, oh, it might not be going the way I want to because I have found peace with that. Let's see what that Empress card is. Ace of Wands. There's something much more powerful. And then there's just something that is just not. So that's the dilemma of being a twin. That's crossed by the Aquarius of the I know into the electricity of the future and rebellion that is underlying that jealousy. The story of two stories. Do you want to live in the thorns where nothing's going to show up and you're okay and you're telling yourself that it's all good? That's the life you want? Or the Ace of Wands with the Empress? Like, that's pretty much everything that you've ever wanted in your life, but it wouldn't be with what is in the thorns. You already know everything though, right? You got, look at all this 12th house. A Venus in the 12th house in Cancer. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely way too emotionally attached to situations that are not in alignment with spirit and learn to let go of the emotional aspects in relationships and also to see if the support's really there. Also, this feels like a past life relationship that definitely has come to some sort of close with the karma.
Yeah, and if it's closed, it's closed. It's not worth sitting there in stress or even, it's easy to become jealous of certain situations, even when we look at maybe other people's relationships, our friends, oh, this individual's married and I should be married, or this person has kids and we should have kids, and then we start forming this toxicity within this relationship, and we fester and we feed on it.
I'm reading the chat. I already knew it was going to come up. To appreciate a rose, you have to appreciate the thorns. I guess this person didn't get it.
The thorns.
I need to appreciate this person even though they fucking tried to kill somebody. I need to appreciate this person even though they treat me like shit. I need to appreciate this person even though they actually have a control around me and they threaten me if I do anything different, that the thorns are going to come down on me. You know, I don't know if you know, but if we are going to look at roses, why do you think they have this whole changing of the roses everywhere? Roses are red, violets are blue. Paint the roses red from the queen. The rose goes back to, we just talked about it on our documentary with Anne. It's the Tudor line. And then I think it went to the other line, which is, I think, I'm watching a cockroach go down there. Appreciate the cockroach in your life. I think it was I was with an S. Anne, are you in the chat? Need the history professor. But all I'm going to say is that in that line of those kings and queens that use the rose for power and domination, and that's how we use and love roses on Valentine's Day and stuff. It's this kind of setting in stone, this kind of like power for love. I'll be honest with you, I mean, maybe it's a feminine thing, but I don't think, I think that the ultimate love and relationship, it's not based upon whether the guy got you roses or not. But there's something to say to go back to this Tudor line and the roses that...
Anne said it's Lancaster and York, the roses.
Lancaster and York. Wasn't there something about the roses, though, Anne, that we had talked about? Like, they were in the picture with all the lines, and then it went from the Tudor line to the not Spencer's, something line. But either way, if you take a look at the monarch energy, just like use Alice in Wonderland, for example, with the roses, it's when you get roses delivered to you, so this person's like, appreciate the thorns. Do you think somebody gives you roses with thorns on Valentine's Day or with love? They cut them off. The flower stores cut them off. That's what Geminis are doing right now. Gemini risings and stuff, cutting off the thorns. I don't want to feel that shit. I just want to look at the good shit, and I don't want to see the other. And I'm peaceful with that. I am surrounded by thorns. Is that really love?
She said, "Watts of roses. The two roses are united in the Tudor rose."
Yeah. In the Tudor line, they killed for love, including killed their own lovers. Just using history, whoever brought up that whole, you got to appreciate the thorns for love. You know what? When are we going to get over these stories like that? I mean, it's like, you know how many readings I've done? And they're like, my baby's daddy's in prison for killing somebody, but I love him and I'm going to keep going.
Oh, it's the War of Roses.
Oh, and there was a War of Roses too.
War of Roses.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's a thorn in your side with love. But maybe there's a reason why we're not supposed to touch certain roses, because they fucking have thorns to protect them, because they're not supposed to be touched. That's a creepy card to me. Peaceful, because you know why? Because it takes the whole love and light community and brings them into a dark mirror, the dark mirror that I am in a scary place surrounded by thorns and I have found peace. When the bombs dropped in World War II, you either ran or you sat in your house and watched all your house crumble and went down with it during the London bombings and the raids, when those sirens went off, you just didn't sit in peace. You ran to the space that you need to go. That's the situations I'm talking about right now. And the denial of that, you've gotten used to the raiding and the noises that are warning you. Trying to hook Gemini's up. You guys got Venus retrograde on a north node. Never seen that in your life. Never seen it this far deep south down in the 5th degree coming this week. Never seen it while Mercury retrograde and a Venus retrograde and Jupiter and Pluto. And we've also got Saturn retrograde and we got Neptune that's stationing during a solar eclipse. And we're going to see all the planets except for Uranus and Mars direct. Like they're all the other ones going to be retrograde. And you're the one with Venus retrograde in your sign? And there was just a firework. Aquarius. I'm just trying to, man. I listen to the chat, but you know what? It's so easy to see the subconscious belief system. That's why I'm saying go into the facts. Let's look at the facts. Should we really be using roses in life if we have to cut them off? The thorns? If it was true love, you'd say, here it is, and freaking hold the thorns and bleed them into your hand and give me your hand and I'll do the same and let's have a blood handshake. You know what I mean? But too many people are afraid of that. Well, this is a different story. Aquarians are, well, it's your love house, the finishing up of the sun here, the North Node conjunct with the Venus retrograde. This is activating to find love in your life. Are you going to find it in your existing partnership or if you're single? I mean, you can't keep running away with the quincunxes in the 12th house into fantasy land or, we're going to go do this now. We're going to go on vacation. We're going to go on a trip. We're going to go trying to control through fantasies. It's not going to do it. It's going to just keep reminding you of it. For single ones, staying hermited is not going to do it because that's not going to work. And I would say that this week is not a bad week, but it is a week that is going to confront this Cancer energy is your 6th house, that a change of your reality and it must be made. The change of the relationships reality, Mercury retrograde here, this is stress, Mercury retrograde in the 6th, that the way that your reality was going, your schedule was going is going to flip the script on you with a solar eclipse here too. You saw this last year, but this one's way more intense, especially now that the North Node's in your 5th house to really find the true happiness. So with Mars, Uranus and the semi-square, I would just say, well, you deserve a better emotional life, not a crazy one, or not one that's missing completely and disconnected and cold. Even though you like the cold, you're looking for some heat. You pulled the devil card. We've never pulled her yet. Woo! She's sexy, she's seductive, but how deep does it go? I would say that, of course, a lot of people are scared of the devil card. If I pulled this in a challenge position or anywhere else, I would just say that there's definitely a lot of things missing. And that's why the devil has showed up. And I know that this one triggers people, the devil card, but I'm just here to tell you in this case, it's don't take the boundaries too far into evilness. But there's definitely that this card is about meaning stepping into more of not only whether it's seduction or your deeper needs and your wants and your desires. It's almost like you feel guilty to go be in the true desires that you really want, but you shouldn't. Ooh, your challenge card is this meditate. But it's wrapped around, it's stuck. I think that your issue is you keep meditating or you keep, in your stillness. And this is going back to that last person about the roses and the whole being peaceful and a fucking... I'm just here I'm a real fucking light worker, you know what I mean? I'm not some love and light person that's just following fucking what you saw fucking on or just what everybody else is saying to do. Like, I'm just like using ancient shit here. That this is definitely an issue. This is not a time to chill out and think that you're going to unwind yourself naturally out of the situations where you feel stuck in relationship life. You're going to have to go be sometimes the heretic. The devil card to me is the heretic. The heretic that knows what it wants and it's going to do it. Your overall card is the world card. Wow. I mean, you're going to get the world that you want, but it also might end a world and start a new world, or at least you're going to get the world that you want by doing that. So, I know that I might look bad. The devil gets the world that it wants, but I would say in your case, it's like, look at the devil card from a different perspective. The desires that are necessary in life for what you want, because you almost feel like you would be the heretic to do what you want, but that's the world that you want, so why not go do it instead of sit in this kind of it's like deep, it's worse than complacency. It's complete, like, let me just keep trying to squiggle through these weird tangled wires that just aren't making sense. How do we get through these weird tangled wires? You got the Virgo card. Yeah, definitely change your reality and lifestyle. We just were talking about that with this Mercury retrograde in your 6th. But definitely life changes, and definitely Virgo is not meditation. Virgo is actually doing things, and actually, of course, analyzing is different than meditating, or they work together hand in hand. But I would say that just as much as you are doing in the, background spiritually of trying to process, there's a lot of analyzing the reality too that you have to consider. You can't figure this whole thing out by just kind of not showing up to reality or not making a reality shift this week. In your love life, I'm weird. We'll see what this black mirror has to say with this devil card. Atonement with the backstabbing. You're backstabbing yourself. Like, I don't really want to go through what I want. So I'm just going to be monotone through this. I think your issue right now is you're a frequency wave that is like this. 2 squiggly lines, remember? But you're keeping this all like this right now. And you have a North Node, and it's a Venus retrograde in your Leo house, 5th house. And it's about being loud and proud and in the world and shining bright and stepping and opening up your true feelings and emotions and all of it. Come on, Aqua. I'm pushing for you here. You got the 2 of Pentacles upright. So when it comes to the world that you want, you're still juggling which world to go live in. I think that's your issue, is especially with the Virgo that's crossing this. I think that you're in between 2 worlds. And I would say that you're stabbing yourself in the back every time that you keep saying, no, I'm going to do this world. No, I'd be bad if I do this world. No, I'm going to go back to this world. So you could be bouncing around with a partner and they don't even know it. You could be bouncing around in yourself with your love life and people don't know. You're very good at hiding all this stuff right now. You got Jupiter and Pluto in your 12th house. This is like a little gopher that is way down deep, so deep into the hole that we don't even know that there's gophers down there. We thought it was just the fucking center of the earth, which is fucking magma, liquid hot magma. Or is it the home of spaceships? I don't know. You did pull the moon in Leo in the 1st house. Oh, definitely with this devil card and this alignment of cards, I would say that this is definitely emotionally going for what you want in your life and to make you happy. And if it's not emotionally making you happy, you have to say it, be it, and emotionally bring it out there. And you might feel like you're an egotistical maniac, which is the opposite of who you are. But at the same time, you're going to just feel like you're not going to get any happiness and not what you want in your life. So you kind of have to step forward. And I think that there is going to be an unpredictable energy to this. I'm just going to pull one Botticelli to cross everything. And it is the unpredictable. You pulled the 2 of Pentacles again. I'm telling you, the universe is saying that you're juggling 2 worlds. And I even said 2 worlds in 2 different ways. And you are juggling 2 different parts of yourself and 2 different situations and 2 different like parts. You're just and nobody knows. You are on the fence, and you just feel like, I don't know if you can take any more swords in your own back, to be honest with you. I don't know if you can deny yourself of your true nature anymore.
Yeah, turning their back on their desires. I mean, I think that's where the devil comes from. It comes from those deep-rooted desires that you're not allowing out, and they're just kind of boiling up inside you. And at one point, it's just going to fucking overturn it. Instead of actually voicing it and actually going through those desires, and maybe your partner's going to be into that also, you might end up losing it. You're going to lose a part of yourself. You can't just keep suppressing your desires. You have to let them be known. You have to act on them. Go get it.
Yeah, it's like boring relationship to the extreme with complications and problems. That's even worse. If it's boring and it's got complications and issues with inside of yourself about it, that's a recipe for disaster. Recipe for disaster. Pisces, go talk to your local Pisces about disasters in their life. They know how to get through them pretty well and slip through and still have a smile on their face. I just love reading the chat after these kind of readings. Oh, hell no. Yeah, I'm trying to be chased through the woods. You all right? That's why they spy on me. Okay. Boring. Aquarians have not become rebels. They have lost their rebellion inside of them. Especially when it comes to dealing with their love and romance. It'd be nice to see an Aquarius all rebellious again. Win, God, win. All right. Pisces, the magical fishes of the sea. The Venus retrograde has been, I know, a lot of rethinking about your home life, your family, your emotions, where you live. But now we see this North Node in Cancer, this North Node eclipse, solar eclipse in Cancer, your fifth house of love. Well, okay, now we're going to add love to the emotions that have been rethought. And you've got all this Pisces in your sign, Mars still in your sign. Like this is a time for Pisces to really go, okay, I know what I love in my life, but I'm going to have to look at the emotional world and the shifting that's going to have to take place in the foundation, and it's going to be changes, and I need to find the stimulation there emotionally. And that's what's been missing is like the willpower to go do it. And the willpower is coming, and I almost feel that it's like, well, should I do this or not? Or am I crazy? You know what? This is good about good crazy. You have a great lineup. I just think that part of this problem right now is like this delusion of that you know what you want in your life. But I think that there's a lot of problems when it comes to how you emotionally get lost in distracting energies that are opposite of what you want. Whether you distract yourself through, well, I'm just going to clean, or I'm just going to just try and maintain the house, or I'm going to be distracted off this person for a second, even though it's nothing that I really want in my life. Or, typical Pisces fashion, like I'm just going to bounce out and just like not be found. I'm just going to go swim so far out there in the ocean that nobody sees me, but I'm going to peep on everybody. You know what I mean? I think that this is definitely you realizing that without love and without the emotional foundation and happiness in your life, what else is there except you all alone out there in the middle of the ocean, even if you are in a relationship? Your first card is the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Well, if you're not going to step up and show up in your greatest self, you're not going to be. Look at how magical she is. I always say she can give me her number. But I'm not giving my number to no girl that's not stepping into the embodiment that she can have the world that she wants by owning that value and knowing what she wants and knowing that it's able to attract that instead of having doubts about yourself, or there's definitely major self-worth doubts or even questioning doubts of if you're in a partnership. This is a Nine of Pentacles reverse. Like you're seeing your partner not really show up in a way, and that's also reflective on you. Remember that too. Your challenge card is the karmic path, Saturn. I think that you are at a very hard choice in your life, and you know it's very difficult because you know there are contracts that have come to an end. The way that you've been living your life with your romance, whether you're single or in a relationship, and you don't know what's on the other side of it, and you're too afraid to embody the karmic path in which that has shown up to saw blade. Saturn looks like a saw that you just went out to bought in Home Depot. Zzz, cutting it out. Whoa, 7 of Wands. Don't get into, if you're single, don't get in a relationship where you're trying to fucking stand and fight, and or this partner is saying they're going to do all these things for you and they really are just like, when it gets too crazy or too much, they'll back out. Also, I think within yourself, you might be trying to, you know, fight for something and hold ground for it. And, you know, you think you got the right ground, but you don't. There's definitely a lot of major self-worth issues here, and also not showing up for the real fight, for the real thing. A lot of illusionary shit here. A lot of like shit that's not real. You did pull Libra as your karmic path issue, which is the balance card and also the relationship card. There's definitely a karmic path that has come to a close, or just a karmic path that's about to start for you. That's the challenge for you, defining. Maybe you have an issue picking the relationships that you want in your life, or what kind of relationship, or you have a karmic path choice of where you don't even know how to be in a relationship, and it's time for you to figure it out, to rebalance your life. There's a lot of self-worth issues. Your dark mirror card is revenge. Ooh, shit. Which girl do you want to be? Look at, they both have their arms and their shoulders tucked back with confidence. One's showing a little leg. The other is all in black and got her switchblades out and ready to fucking go massacre situations. I would say that, you know what? Ooh, this is a hard one. I would say that this one is that because of your lack of self-worth and abundance of yourself, it's creating a darker and more edgier and part of yourself that will go after whatever it wants and not the most positive ways, and also self-sabotaging yourself and trying to put revenge on your own self, or even revenge on somebody else, or even blaming things in such negative ways on other people that causes your demise, when really this is all you. Yet the Four of Pentacles, there's definitely something that you're holding on to that is not working out at all. Four of Pentacles reversed, 7 of Wands reversed. I mean, or you're dealing with a partner that doesn't even want you, and you're fighting, and you'll do anything to do in it. It's not fair and balanced in the karmic Passover. Like, do not enter in or do not stay in a situation with somebody who does not want to even be with you at all. They don't feel the value of you at all, and that's going to affect your self-worth even more. Maybe you're not showing up either for it. But I would be honest with you, like, you're probably not showing up because they're not showing up. Because if you fought for it and you've put your best effort into it, yeah, back out. But if you've not put any effort into it and they're bailing out, well, now you know why. Maybe you didn't put enough value to it, or you didn't show up. And you know what? You can create any excuse you want. That's the issue. This revenge is like giving vengeful excuses for the, excuse of why not to show up in your beauty and your true grace. I have an excuse. That's why. Those excuses have run out. 9th house, Uranus, Taurus. Woo! You're going to have to go moo a little crazy and explore new crazy areas, but they have to be only based upon breaking apart things that were valued and that you thought were beautiful that are turning a weird direction to take you to another direction. But at the same time, it's time for you to also understand that you have to connect to the story that you want, and it better be the best story, and you better not start playing around with stories that you don't want to be in. And at the same time, if you're denying and even being in love and denying stories, the universe is about to throw you a freaking wild electric storm that's trying to give you physical aspects. And you know what? There's issues here with Taurus. 9 of Pentacles reversed. First card that you pulled up, Taurus. There's physical issues here Maybe you don't value your own self. Maybe you don't value other people. Maybe you don't know how to touch. Maybe you lost touch with touch. Maybe you are a disconnected person in physical reality about love. Or maybe your partner has done that, but that's a reflection on you too.
Yeah, I like that, how you bring up the physical, because it is like almost cutting ties with that mental, emotional state. Cutting ties with what's not working, because that is going to affect your physical reality. That's going to affect your physical being. If you're living in a lie, if you're living in a situation that's not healthy in your mental state, it's not healthy in your heart, it's going to reflect through your body. It's going to reflect into your partner. I'm sure they're feeling it if you're not in the right spot, just as you're going to feel it if they're not in the right spot.
Yeah.
So who is it? Is it you, or is it them, or is it both of you together that's not working? There needs to be a communication. There needs to be a conversation as to what that actually is.
And, you know, it's not an easy conversation to have with yourself or with a partner or with a lover or anybody that you're trying to date. But there's definitely like a disconnect with the physical nature and trying to live off the idea of it instead of experiencing it and disconnecting from it. Or you have been like a trailer that has been disconnected from the truck of touch and feel and satisfaction so much that you just live in the story. And that's, you got to bridge both. You got to bring the trailer back on. I think there's a lot of Pisces out there that don't know what the fuck they're doing with physical nature right now. Two left, and it's Leo, and then Aries is last. Well, Aries last. That's typical end of Pisces transit with Mars and the solar eclipse in Cancer. I will say, for all the fire signs, remember, we are coming into water. That means I'm just 1 month away from being in Leo season. And there was a meme I put yesterday. Did you see it, Craig, with a cat that was sitting there fucking hitting a jewel? He's like, I'm waiting for Leo season.
I did.
I was like, this is all me. I'm like, where's Leo? And that's the question, Leo. Okay. Cancer. Is it our best friend or is it our worst enemy? I don't know. To be a king or to be a queen, emotions are definitely important in our own private, unique spiritual quarters. But at the same time, becomes a complete storm when we feel like we're not aligned emotionally with energies that are comforting to us or that try to control our comfort zones. Because, to lead and to be a king and to be the king of the jungle or the queen of the jungle or to be the badass Leo and the sun that you are, when people try to tell you how to be comfortable or tell you how to be spiritual or tell you how to be the way, they don't even know what they're doing because they're not showing the same light as you. And I think that this is going to come up. Live your own way. Live your own spiritual ways with this big. You've gone through more 12th house stuff than anybody really has lately besides Aquarians. But this has been North Node stuff that you know how to be spiritually in tune with your truth. And this is your final big solar eclipse test. With Venus retrograde in the 11th and North Node in the 11th, everybody else thinks they know a better way for you or how to love or how to be more comfortable or how to do this or how to do that. And that's what you got to let go of. If you're going to be with partners, going to try to tell you how to be, what to do, what to eat, what to drink, what time to go to bed, when to do this, when to do that. And that might be hard because your own spiritual way is how you bring light to the world. Finding somebody that's accepting of all those things within yourself, that might be difficult. There might be this whole idea in yourself, like maybe I got to let go of my spiritual true self, the one that I've been working so hard on to do your greatest light. This is the big question about, are you so worried about what other people think and how other people live that you're trying to adjust your life so much that you've adjusted out of yourself? There's also dealing with love and romantic situations with all this Pisces energy, that it better be all in, emotionally intense, because you know how Leos connect to God? Pisces 8th house, deep intimacy. And so without deep intimacy and without controlling your way of how to live or criticizing how you live or judging you on how you live. Like, you're not here to be judged. You're the king. You're the queen. And it's almost like this is going to be your greatest test ever of like who can really accept you fully and see your light and not have you dim your light because you feel like that you will be more comfortable with giving everybody too much, even though the South Node's in Leo. So it's like, you don't need to drop being a Leo. There's a different way to be a Leo now, but it also means not to take the criticism fully. You always are a Leo that has to do it your own way. It'd be like right now if, you know, Saturn convinced the sun enough to just like stop shining so bright, that would affect the Earth. That would affect Mercury. That would affect everybody. It would affect the whole zodiac or the whole planetary system. And guess what would happen? It would go into destruction. So it's like, okay, well, maybe I will just not do so many solar flares, but I'm still going to fucking shine my brightness. This is a very weird situation. Leos are going into, with the Mercury retrograde in the 12th house, like, where in your worthy self-values of self, spiritually, are you not going to let go of and rethink that is there anything really wrong? Are the signs of negativity or endings or wrong energy not being looked at correctly? Because criticism is high when the North Node's in the 11th house. And almost is easier to just go retreat and say fuck you to people, but you got to be connected to people. But you have to be connected to people that accept you for who you are, and knowing how to bring still your king and your queen to yourself and be with people and still be around people that accept you for the way that you are, instead of you denying yourself of yourself to go be like everybody else. That's an Aquarius's job. Two of Wands in reverse. Sorry, no, it's upright. You do have the world in your hand for love, how you want it. Look at that fire coming with that world down. Woo! Definitely do not start shifting yourself in such a way that you forget that you can have the world that you want in your hands. Don't start going to the negotiation table and start giving away your whole light, especially right now. Look at this. The challenge is the magic. Are you going to give away your magic for the world that you want? That would be the dumbest move of your life. The dumbest move of your life. There is no such thing as a world without magic, except a world that is magicless. And I think the challenge is trying to make magic show up in a world that won't even hold magic. That means that it's not meant to be. So somebody's trying to have you shift and change so much that you won't feel the magic in yourself, then you just say, I'm sorry, that's not the world that I have. I think that there's also conflicts of interest when it comes to the way that the magical world is that you live and other people. And I think that's been the dilemma. Or people not seeing the magic in your world. The overall, though, if you can get through that, is the ultimate card for love when it comes to actually a physical foundation of creating a castle, which every Leo wants, right? And every Leo rising, 10 of cups, or coins, 10 of pentacles. This is where it's like you can go create the ultimate palace where there is nothing but support and love, and everybody wants to hang out and everybody wants to be with. And it's like the ultimate place of manifestation of a wholeness by getting through the challenges of how magic is and not letting go and not negotiating your magical way. I'm just going to tell Leos this. You are not here to negotiate your magical way. That's what keeps the sun burning every fucking day. No matter what transits go on. You're the only sign that gets that magic. That you have life and magical powers that never cease unless you choose to give it away because you listen to everybody else's, criticism too much. And it's heightened right now. Get the Mars card to get through that magic. Yeah, this is about not getting rid of your magic. I'm not saying use force, but I'm saying keep your life force and the magical force that you are and direct the world and direct that world that bridges to the world you want to stay in the identity of your magic and not counter that to get to the ultimate palace of love. Holy shit, this is a great reading. Fuck yeah. I already pulled that, so we got to burn that. What's the black mirror here? Colorless angel. Do not get rid of the colors in you. Do not get rid of the world and the magical world that you are for somebody or some situation. Oh, Leos. My poor cat Leo is probably hearing this right now. Like, uh-oh, am I in trouble? Leo, Leo, what are you doing? Don't get rid of your fucking... Don't get rid of your value. Don't get rid of your fucking magical fucking thing. Yes, you need to learn to get along with people, but with people that see the magical shit within you. That's the lesson of a North Node in the 11th as Leo, because it's your damn royal court, right? Like fucking, don't fucking start taking up people in the royal court. Like, I need people in the royal court who don't like me all the time. No. You think you're going to want to get up in the morning? No. You think she wants to get up in the morning? She's a colorless angel. Do you think she wants to go do angelic things? You think she wants to go do some positive things? No, she looks pretty fucking like she just woke up and I don't want to fucking go through this. So that's because you give away the world that you want. Why did we get this 10 of Pentacles, which is one of the best cards? 8 of Swords. This is because you need to go build a great palace of love. Because you have felt trapped and in a toxic world, and you need to go find a place that's going to harbor and create the most beautiful place for you. But guess what? You're going to stay in that toxic place if you're going to give away all of your energy at the end of the day, which is yourself that put you there. You'll blame that person. You'll blame that energy. You'll blame it on things like, you took away my energy. You took away my power. No, you gave it away. Well, North Node, 8th house, Capricorn. Well, this is about going 100% into the intimacy of the path that you want in your life. This is also about realizing that whatever you really want in life that you can get. But you got to choose wisely, because you can get whatever you want. That's how magnetic you are. And you know what? If some people don't know that you are at that magical position and they don't treat you that way, then they are not it.
No, definitely. I mean, you said it perfect. Not stifling your power, not stifling that sun, that sunshine that you are, that energy force. You know, finding someone that appreciates that and that's going to let you be the Leo that you are. That's going to let you be the individual that you are. You know, obviously, we all can change little bits about ourselves to kind of fit a piece, kind of fit into a situation with individuals, of course. You know, there's compromises that we have to make, but it doesn't mean that you have to lose yourself fully. That doesn't mean that you have to forget yourself. That's when it goes down the wrong path. That is when we start leading towards destruction. So always lead with your heart, lead with that life force, and let that sunshine shine on in, Leo. Shine on in.
Well, in our last one for today, let that light shine on, like Craig says, and that was a great show. But we are finishing here with the air eye of the zodiac. Hey Siri, can you tell me why Libras got torn?
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Hey Siri, can you tell me why Libras got torn in the high vibe red cup?
Okay, I found this on the web for why Libras got torn in the hybrid cup. Check it out.
What came up? The astrological explanation behind love triangles. Aries, that's your opposite sign, Libra. Don't enter into no love triangles right now. And Libras, don't you dare even, you know what? Just get out of something to get into something new. And that goes for both Aries and Libras. because I think that this is kind of love triangle energy of looking on the other side of the fence with all this Pisces energy of looking at both sides of the reality, kind of in and out of the reality, seeing what's better. And especially for you now, there's a solar eclipse in your emotional house, Aries. This is about getting to the last couple years of just nonstop deep emotional need. And with all this stimulation that you need with Venus retrograde and looking and questioning and so forth, like don't get love in no love triangles, especially as we are going to see this week's Mercury retrograde in your 4th house, that you're rethinking your emotional thing. Just get out of whatever you need to if you're going to do that. Or if you're single, there's definitely a need for you to have emotion, and you need to like maybe communicate differently or change your environment up to get the emotions in. Or maybe you're living in a pattern emotionally in life that's not fulfilling you and taking care of yourself the way that you want to. The sun on the North Node in the 3rd house is definitely a change in your environment that must be made. This is definitely going to be a very powerful moment for you, Aries, because Mars is finishing here in the 12th. Don't lose hope, but also don't go into the most destructive place of your life right now. Go into an emotional space of need and go into a spiritual space. And I think that for Aries rising, there's some story coming to a major end here. Now, I don't think it's for all relationships, but maybe this is stuff within yourself. But I would say that there's some Aries that I would say, if you got in the relationship in the last 2 years during this nodal axis, which was in your 4th house and 10th house, it's almost like, I don't think it's going to make it. And I think you know that. So instead of going through a love triangle, just end it and move to the new person. Your first card that you got this week is the 9 of Wands in reversed. More walls coming down we're seeing here. Also, your fellow Sag has pulled this card. So the fire sign's definitely breaking down some walls, except the Leos maintaining their walls of their true light. But for you, it's almost like, I think there's something not worth fighting for anymore or defending. Because honestly, I said this earlier, but if you were going to try to defend it, like, you don't have much to defend for it. They're not that big of a deal. You're an Aries. You like to be the big deal. Your issue is grounded. I think that you're in relationship situations that are not grounded, or they're not able to find their ground. And you know what? When you don't have grounding, you don't have an anchor, and then on top of that, the walls have all come down. You know what? That's kind of the sign to exit stage left. Now, if you're in a relationship that I would say has been going on for a long time, it's definitely not about bringing exes back either. Let me just say that one. Because once all these walls crumble, it's easy to go back to an ex, especially with Mars and Pisces. But I would just say that this is definitely a time for you to realize, like, maybe that there's walls that are coming down because there's been an ungrounded feeling, and maybe there's been a lot that's happened, and you're going to have to reground emotionally with your partner and figure that one out. I'd say that's for longer term relationships that have never had an issue or broken up. Like, this is definitely like allowing a new grounding position to come at it and stop resisting through putting a wall up or putting up some sort of tough person or something like that. Like, just let things be. And I think this for all Aries, let things be naturally as they are and ground where that you really want to ground instead of trying to control it. You pulled the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Again, there's still control issues of trying to control the way that you want things to go, whether that's just in your life in general or your relationship life. You're going to have to let things be turning the way that this universe wants to do it. And I think that you're ungrounded, and I think that you're afraid to see where it's going to all go next. And there is no wall to defend anymore. There is no battleground here to defend for you. So this is definitely going to be a very deep unrooting. Why? 5th house, love. Where's the love? Where's the excitement? Where's the creativity? Where's the drama that's fun? You know, there's something about this 5th house that brings drama that's fun, not drama that's I don't like this. I'm not, like, but I'm too afraid to deal with it. So I'm kind of, this is where people are putting, I'm going to be honest, Aries. It doesn't matter if you're single or in relationship. You've kind of putting your partner or people that you're dating kind of like a little bit on a side, or like a little bit like pushed off a little bit. And this is saying, like, go to where the love is. If you're not feeling the love of that person, like, go to where the love is and don't get in a love triangle and get out of that and then move on. I know that's not simple and easy. Why? Well, forgetting oneself. Ooh. Maybe you forgot yourself in the relationship you've been in. Sometimes we lose ourselves in relationships. Maybe this wall has finally come down and really realize, like, oh my God, who am I? This is not who I am. What am I doing? You were defending a position, or maybe a date, or maybe even just your whole like world of how you deal with love. You forgot how to love because maybe you're in a situation where it's not that love, or you're going through your own personal situations where you forgot yourself and you forgot how to love. But that's where the confusion goes of this Wheel of Fortune. Why is it reversed? You pulled the Prince of Wands. Wow. I think it's reversed because I think that, you know what? You're trying to charge forward with happiness and positive news, the control of how you want things to go. And that never happens. Page of Wands is weak compared to the Wheel of Fortune. You cannot stop the wheel of life and time from turning in the wheel that it's turning. And I would say that be more positive about where life is turning. And even if it turns a direction that you don't want it to go, that there's a positive story to this instead of trying to create the positive story the way that you want to. I think that there's a lot about like remembering who you really are and going to the true happiness of who you are. I mean, you got all these forgetting oneself, the 5th house, and then you got the Prince of Wands, the Page of Wands, and then you got a 9 of Wands underneath that with a ungrounded energy in the challenge, and with a Wheel of Fortune reversed. It's almost like there's two stories here. It's like there's definitely a position where you're trying to control an ungrounded position that's lost its power. And then there's another where you forgot yourself and you're bringing your power back. Where do you associate that with two? We'll just pull one Egyptian card. You'll be the only one that gets to bridge it all. And it's the 8 of Swords. Wow, that's the sickness card. So the more sick that you're getting, or the more that you're feeling toxic and doing things that you don't normally do or not want to, is a big sign and indication of that you're not in a good space because of this. And that's, you don't want to keep crossing those lines because that's a very toxic place. You got the Sun in the 12th house of Libra. That is like relationship endings. I mean, spiritually, I don't want to tell that every Aries in the world is going to go through a breakup, but it's definitely a spiritual cleansing that is going on. And for those that I would say that have been in relationships in the last, 2 to 3 years, I would say, bye-bye. I'd say if it's been much longer, that it's definitely coming to a reset in a much more balanced place, but you're going to have to find the spiritual essence of things. And if you're single, why are you denying yourself of relationships so much? Are you still hold on to somebody from the past? That you keep forgetting yourself for somebody of the past, and you keep trying to turn it the way you want to, or turn them to look at you, and it's not going to happen. That is Deep Love Tarot for this week. Do we have any final words, Craig, about the air eyes?
Oh, jeez. Well, the air eye, and I think with all of us, I think that we need to take this time to adapt. I think we need to take this time to transform our lives for the positive and transform these relationships, put them into a healthy mindset, healthy mind, healthy body, healthy relationship, pay attention to all the messages that are being given to us. Pay attention to everything that's going on around us right now, and really use this time to figure out, is this person worthy of being in my life? I think that's what it comes down to right now.
Boom. Make sure that you share us and share this video out, definitely, because it's all organic now with the way that the YouTube world is working. They have denied us from our old peaks. So the more that you share this video, the more that you get the word out, and especially if you're on highvibe.tv, You get all the exclusive stuff. You get all my longer talks where I go deeper in the astrology. I show, and you can, if anybody's in the comments here, when I go on High Vibe, I go into weird stuff. I go into all the stuff. I go into all the research I'm doing. I like am so vulnerable. I show you the charts I'm looking at. I take you through. I prepare you in ways that I don't do here on YouTube. Like, it's just too much. So, and there's stuff I can't say on here. Like, I have a contract. I'm a YouTube creator. I passed 100,000 subscribers. It's a whole new world. Like, I can't just, I don't think people get that. There's sacrifices that have to be made with cooler things, but, you know, that's just the truth. I love you all. It's going to be the life-changing week that it will never be the same. And is that same going to be a new same? Like, it will never be the same, and fuck yeah, because there's a new same coming? Or it will never be the same because I'm going to stay in the same. And I'll never see anything new same for a long time. Love y'all. Good luck. We will see you on all the shows on High Vibe, and of course we'll be back on Deep Astrology for Wednesday, and Spiritual Dance Music will be on Monday, because it is going to be on Sunday, and we are not here on Sundays. So love you all very much, sending you my best, and final word, Craig, what's the Scorpio got to say to people on this big week?
Again, use it in your favor. Use this power to actually propel you into this new life, propel you into this new relationship, whatever it is that you're looking for. Use this power wisely. And good night and good morning.
Adios. Say bye to you all in the chat. Peace.